Hey everyone!
Oh, hey.
Welcome to Wiki Game.
Hello.
We are in day 3 of our week of Wicked Giving. It's Wicked Wednesday. We've really gone in on our brand. Wicked. It's real wicked.
Real wicked, real Wednesday.
This is the first session, guys. You have joined us for the very first session of our new campaign, Campaign 2. And from here on out, every week at this time on Wednesdays, you come here and you listen to this, you watch this story unfold. We are, all this week, we've been raising money for the LGBT, for Norfolk LGBT plus, who do great work. They educate people who need educating, and they support those in the LGBT plus community. We are super happy to be and proud to be supporting them all of this week. And so far, you guys have done us so proud. We're so stoked at how much money we've already raised, and we're just incredibly grateful, and we want to keep going. We've still got quite a few days to go, so we're really excited about how much we can still raise.
Yes.
And with that in mind, at this very special halfway point, we're throwing in a incentive, and that is that the next 6 people to donate $100 they're going to get an epic one-shot DM'd by me.
The one, the only. The one, the only.
So from today until Sunday, if you donate £100 and you're the first one of the first 6,
$100.
you get a game helmed by me. So and the donation links, they are in the chat.
Yep.
So you're going to see them flying past, but they'll keep getting stuck in there every now and again. Follow that link. It'll take you through, and it's all pretty kind of like straightforward about how you do it. Which leads me on to our incredible mods: Sweet Poison, Rooney Runes, Atomic Flash. We love them, and they absolutely rule. So not only will they be keeping you all in line, but they will also be shoving in those links every now and again. Normally on these streams so far this week, we have been, calling out and being super grateful about letting you know, saying thank you directly after stuff's been happening. We're not going to do that. We sort of generally have a rule while we're playing D&D that we try and just play the D&D and talk about it afterwards. So don't be super sad if you have given us your pennies and we just ignore it. We're not ignoring it. We are so grateful. We just want to stay focused on the D&D until the end. So I think that's kind of all of those sorts of announcements. Other quick announcements, we use Ivan Dutch's music. It's always worth saying, if you go to ivandutch.com, he makes beautiful atmospheric music that is for free. I mean, it's an incredible thing that he does. He writes beautiful music, and you can use it on Twitch. So he's an absolute flaming gem. And
flaming gem.
He's a flaming gem.
Flaming gem.
Cool. The schedule for the rest of the thing, I'm just going to keep rattling on. Tomorrow we've got Dragon Age, we've got a craft stream. Then it is Friday. Gosh, what day of the week even is it? Then on Friday, oh my god, we're going to be playing a 24-hour D&D game that is Curse of Strahd. I'm terrified. Once I'm not DMing, Nikki has taken on this outrageous task and will be taking us through non-stop DM. Beginning of the book, end of the book. Woohoo!
The whole thing, baby.
Crazy. And the little kind of small print. If you want, I think there's going to be like lots of little money prizes in that. One of them being, if you donated $100, Strahd drops in
Immediately.
If those two things sync up, you can make Strahd appear and you can get a one shot. Just saying.
Things can happen.
Things can happen.
And then on Sunday, when we're all wrecked, we're going to come back on stream and blather in and have a kind of Q&A, a little chat. We love these occasional moments when we get to have little discussions and talk directly to you guys. We love it. So we'll be doing that on Sunday. Beautiful. Now, I think that's everything. Have I forgotten anything? What we're gonna do now is shed our mortal skins and ascend into Aridia for the next few hours for a little treat. So let's roll the tapes, Nikki. Welcome to the Aridian Empire. This sprawling land is led by Emperor Julian II. You do not find us in the hustle and bustle of Aridian cities, with the push and pull of politics and law and order, nor in the dusty plains with the whispered prayers from farmers' lips, nor the treacherous Sierras. You do not find us in the northern jungles, the eastern deserts, or the southern wilds. Today, you find us in the westernmost part of the Aridian Empire. If you were to dust off a very particular and long-forgotten history book, you might read about a powerful arcanist who commanded the very seabed to rise up and form itself into a cluster of idyllic islands as a gift to his beloved and first emperor of Aridia. On the northernmost bluff of these islands, a lighthouse was formed from stone and crystal, a beautiful beacon to all that enter the empire's waters, reminding them that they are now embraced by the borders of the greatest civilization that has ever been. These islands were named Eisodos din Aridia, or the mouth of Aridia, but most people just called it Eisodos. Every year a new community was curated to care for the lighthouse and the islands, a dozen or two people that would bask in the paradise of this constructed archipelago. Their only law was that the light must never go out. Your history book might tell you this, and it might even tell you of the rumours of those that returned from the islands blessed and changed. But those are just bard songs and tittle-tattle, and only a fool would take them at face value. For now the year is Epoch of Julian 26, and you could count on one set of hands the people that knew of Eisodos. The centuries have slowly worn the memory of this place from people's minds like etched writing on a lichen-covered tombstone. Each year, fewer and fewer people came to the island, and those employed to recruit found themselves hardly caring, and so we find only 3 caretakers brought for the task. Only 3 lighthouse keepers to farm and maintain and live on Eisodos for a full year. El is a wood elf, with peaceful eyes and a great attachment to his friend Jaques, a crab he saved from a trap. El took this job for his crustacean friend as a treat away from the hubbub of towns and cities. Then there's the beautiful half-elf known as Cece, full of wit and vivacity. It wasn't long ago that she was addressed as Lady Cecilia Arcavia. If you asked her, she might find it hard to explain how she got here, or what happened that day on the ship when she was saved from the brink of death by a mysterious being. And finally, Maverick Spells, known by many as Mav. The dazzling and renowned author has many volumes to his name that could raise your pulse and bring a flush to your cheek. He tells himself he's on a grand writer's retreat, but sometimes Maverick is not completely honest with himself. There is talk of an elderly hermit that wanders a dilapidated temple, a permanent member of the island thought to be a worshipper of Tiesh, the god of tempests. Our lighthouse keepers cannot yet know what the island has in store for them. They only know that they've been promised paradise and a year away from their lives that, for whatever reason, they left behind. Welcome to Wicked Games, the Lighthouse of Eisodos.
We
did it! Welcome, as past Lydia said, to the Lighthouse of Eisodos. I look forward to you all properly meeting your lighthouse keepers. But first, I'd like to introduce you to Captain Faraday, capable dwarf in her advanced years. She has bright white hair that's loosely pulled into a long braid, and her mustard-colored shirt is rolled up above the elbow. This woman has worn thick, high boots every day for 280 years, and she's beginning to dream of slippers. But she would never tell anyone that, because right now she has her ship, a faithful crew, and a thriving business. At this moment, Faraday rests her muscular arms on the gunwale that runs along the prow of the ship. She looks out ahead, fixing her gaze on the ever-growing land mass coming towards them. Year after year, Captain Faraday has brought people here, as did her father before her, and her mother before him, and so on and so on. The Faraday family never asked questions, never felt the need to dig into any of the goings-on this strange archipelago. Her ship has been at sea for a few months. Faraday made allowances for complications at sea, but they were blown way off course. And so she's made allowances for all of that stuff, but she was, and she also lost half of her beloved crew. Faraday now is making new calculations in her head. She's making allowances for offloading the cargo from the ship, for offloading the people from the ship that need to stay here, for getting the people that she needs to take back on the ship, and then she's thinking about how she's going to get back from whence she came. She is eyeing the morning mist that clings to that landmass. She's thinking about the voyage back mostly, though. She turns to look out over the deck of the ship. Her now skeleton crew is working hard to bring the gentle Maria into the Islands of Eisodos quickly and neatly. She might also be looking at her passengers, the people that she was paid to bring here to these islands for a whole year to look after the islands and look after the Lighthouse of Eisodos. So tell me, guys, who might she see on the deck of the ship?
I think she would probably most regularly and to the point now that has become a fixture above deck, see the kind of tall, slight wood elf Elle, who is a hard worker when needed and adept at climbing and tying ropes and all things kind of you'd mistake him for a sailor if he wasn't so keen on laying in the sun as much as possible. He doesn't have the calloused hands and maybe the kind of crow's feet of a sailor. He's got the supple skin of an elf who's lived a kind life. But yeah, Elle will probably be above deck with his best friend, who happens to be a giant crab named Jaques. And when possible, they will be basking in the sun. However, whenever needed, they're happy to lend a hand.
Wonderful. I imagine that since it is very early in the morning, the sun has really just sort of started to come up, and the some of the crew are already trying to help bring luggage up, which for Elle is not very much, but is a fairly hefty task for one of the people on board ship. Mav, tell us about how Mav is going about getting all of his luggage from his quarters onto deck, ready for the islands.
Darling, this is possibly the earliest Mav has ever gotten up for anything in his life. And as he comes above deck, directing as many crewmates as possible in retrieval of his copious amounts of bags, you see as the ever immaculate, deep burgundy skin of this tiefling is sweating ever so slightly. Mav comes up in his normal shawls and wraps with jewelry bedecking both ears, nose, a small chain from one to the other, and a large trinket on his ear. As you watch him delegate tasks that, frankly, are very much beneath him, you also see some of the bags start to float out towards where we are collecting our belongings. Though he does these things in a almost regal fashion, there are nods of shared knowledge between him and the crew. There is often a small amount of laughter coming from the group that he is in, from some ribald joke or another, and there are lots of light touches on arms, shoulders, backs, as he helps in the only way he knows how, darling. Welcome everyone to the joy that is Maverick Spells.
Wonderful, and last but certainly not least, perhaps the person most changed by this last couple of months, who is just starting to come to grips with so many new and interesting things. What is Cece doing on this very early morning?
I think Cece's got herself up. You know, she's put I wouldn't say like she's put a face on or anything like that, but I think, you know, she's put a comb through her hair.
For the cheek.
Yeah, bit rouge on the cheeks. You know, she's changed, like you said already, a lot from this journey. When she first stepped on, I think I described her as looking a bit like Barbie. Barbie's first sail. And although she has still got the cute like pink overalls, you know, everything looks a little bit more worn in. The nails have chipped and been worn down, and yeah, she's not a fan. She's trying not to think about it. But I think she's, you know, she packed fairly light, probably a bit more than Elle, but definitely not as much as Mav. So she's probably been able to pack it all in one well-worn but cute suitcase. And yeah, I think she probably just makes her way up and to stand next to Faraday to take a look at the place that's going to be her home for the next year.
Why don't you roll me? Woo!
Oh no.
A perception check, please.
Oh no.
Look again, darling.
Said you're looking.
I'm using
I love
my
this Paddington Barbie feel to
yeah.
to the suitcase and
The crossover we've all been waiting for.
7.
7. Well, Faraday has sort of turned around to cast her eye over the gentle Maria, and so she's facing inwards and you're facing outwards, and to your eye, without a spyglass, what you can see is sort of like clouds that seem to be clinging to the sea. You don't see much of a landmass. You can just sort of see clouds. You seem to just be heading into a mist. And Faraday kind of makes the odd noise, barks a few orders to people, and things are getting ready. And the ship begins to pull into the mist. As you are passing, she explains to you, she says, we got to pull through the South Island and the West Island, get through to the North Island. That's where we dock.
Right.
I think that Homestead's still quite a way, but there'll be somebody probably on the dock. They usually, every other time they've known we're coming a mile off and they're waiting for us. So,
all right.
So that's the North Island that we're trying to get to. That's got your homestead on it. That's where we're going. But we'll offload. You've got to take that up once we've offloaded. We're sort of done once we've got the crates on land. But I would say this. We've got crates that are going to the West Island. There's some kind of person there, some kind of like, I don't know what she is, but we're always told to send a few crates over that way. And I don't know anything about it.
There's someone else on the island? Is there someone else?
Yeah, like I say, I don't really know anything about it, but I think there's someone, someone who's just always there on that West Island.
Oh, is it like someone to take care of us in case things go wrong? Like a guide sort of thing.
I mean, ask them, because I'm going to be frank with you. I rarely even put my feet on the sand of the beach. I keep on the dock, but I've never seen the house. I've never seen anything on the island at all. So let alone the person on the West Island. But
are me and Mav around for this? Sorry.
Say that again.
Are me and Mav, or am I nearby this at all? Or?
You're a little bit further down the ship, but I think if you're very welcome to say, especially with your passive perception, you can see that Cece's having conversation with Captain Faraday, and you're all quite excited. You're all ready to move onto the island. So it would be fair enough if you wanted to shimmy over and have a conversation.
Yeah, I think Elle would, just given the talk of like, in fact, actually, I think specifically, it's Cece's mention of someone's there to like help us or something.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think Elle is probably going to be, it's probably just a local. You'll be surprised how often places have been trodden before, and it's a common misconception that people are there to do what you want to do. They probably just kind of live off the land, and we're probably guests in their space, so we should probably treat it as such.
Well, so that's a nice sentiment. I think that's a good sentiment generally when you're traveling, but there's no locals on this island. You don't get locals.
I'm sorry, did I? Then I must be mistaken, because you said there was a person living here that we had to deliver some supplies to.
I mean, but I don't know how they got there. But
then they're probably from there.
I mean, yeah, but when people talk about, when I'm taking the people back from having had a year on the island, they tend to kind of, I don't know. As I said, I don't know much about it. I guess, yeah, technically this person does live. They're a local person, but they're not. Well, you'll find out. You'll find out.
And Miss Faraday, may I just interject here? On the subject of those that came before us,
right?
We have been on the sea perhaps slightly longer than you might have liked.
You could say that again,
sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How upset do you think these post inhabitants will be?
That's a good question. That That's a damn good question, and I'll say this: there have been times when we've been a week or two late, and they've been hopping mad that we've been late, and they may well have run through quite a lot of their provisions, and be very low stocked on things, so they could be quite cross, and as I was saying before, you do this person on the West Island a great favor if you were to quickly just row over and give them their crate as well, because they could, well be starving to death. So yeah, they could be mad. They could just be, in my experience, people are always just overwhelmed with happiness to be able to get off the island.
Right. Good. May I retract my offer to come to this island? I feel as though this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, can we do that?
I feel like there may have been a slight mistake.
No, you signed the contract now. That's binding for a full year.
Yes,
and also, I'd add this: full year from when you step onto the island. You haven't lost time just because we've been at sea. You've got to do a year from when you get on from today. You understand?
Yes, I understand what you are saying. I'm not sure I saw that in the contract. So all I'm saying is there has already been a breach, and I feel as though I may be able to come back with you. And I'm sure
there's absolutely no way. I'd sooner drown you than take you back, not putting you on the island. That's for sure. And you're a solid fella, and you've done some incredible things on this ship in the last couple of months. But yours is the only contract that is drenched in wine, sir. I'm not surprised you couldn't read what was on the contract. You spilled that much wine on it, put your name on it.
To be frank, yes, I've got no argument for that. Right,
you're a good lad. You're a good lad. You saved my hide, and you saved the lives of a couple of people on this ship as well. So I've got no beef with you. But you'll get off this ship, and you'll get on that island, and you'll stay there for a year, or you'll die.
It's gonna be great, Mav. It's gonna be fun. We almost died out there, so I don't know about you, but I'm actually happy about stepping onto some dry land for a bit. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great, right? Right?
It'll be fine.
Yep.
You'll find that these folk that are hopping to get back on the boat have maybe overestimated their ability to survive, and maybe thought there'd be one too many creature comforts on the island that they've been missing, like a soft bed and
Wait, what?
And the like.
I think
it'll be fine.
Mav walks very quickly away to the prow, and turns very quickly away from all of you, and you just hear a muffled "Oh no!" from the prow of this ship.
After that slightly strangled, suppressed scream, the ship falls into a kind of strange calm. You hear the lapping of water against the boat, and not a lot else. You are very slowly drifting. They've pulled the sails up, and they're drifting through the water very slowly. Sometimes you can see through the mist the edges of a pebble beach, and sometimes you see the edges of a cliff, but you are essentially, this mist is coming so quickly and so thickly that you are being robbed of your first glimpses of your new home.
Is it a natural mist? Like, does it feel like a natural mist?
Yeah. You are very welcome to pitch me a role to find out more about it.
Let me check what I'm good at, and I'll pick one of those.
That's
can
how
I
we
interest
like
you
it.
in animal handling? No. How perception or survival? It's the same role. For me,
I'd say survival. Survival will give you the most information about that.
Are we yet at a point where, because I'm a coastal ranger?
Oh, this is coast for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, would I have like a I'm swinging for advantage here. This is what I'm doing. Like, this is my
I
favorite.
love it. You've just got to be direct with your pitches.
I would like advantage because I spent so much time around like bodies of water and land and where they meet the coast.
I think that's not actually I'm. It's not a full like character feature, is it? I'm going to be really careful
It's
because
not.
it was
It's not at
episode
all.
1 of the last campaign that you pitched me that your character could just disarm people, and I went, "That sounds great," and then I really regretted it. So I'm going to be super careful.
That's a thing. That's a thing in the DMG. That's an optional rule, and you said yes. So that's on. That's on you. Okay. So I have like Well, I'm making a wisdom check related to my favourite terrain, so I get to add my proficiency bonus twice. As a natural explorer.
Yeah, let's stick with that. I like that.
Cool. What is my proficiency bonus?
Only good rolls. +2.
Only.
Yeah, +2. So I get to. So I've got a +7 to
Rolls.
this roll. 19.
With a 19, yeah, you have sort of encountered these sorts of, especially early morning, those early morning mists when, when it is still a little bit crisp. It is sort of interesting to you that it wasn't so much out to sea, that when you've got pretty good passive perception, and when you looked out coming in towards the archipelagos, you did notice that this mist was really clinging to the island. But having said that, it's not completely unusual. But it is, I think, with a good roll like 19, it's getting thicker. By your estimations, it's getting soupier as you go on.
Now, that mist is strange.
Oh, strange in what way?
It
Is that
seems-
not normal?
I mean, it's not normal. I've seen mist on coast before. It's not like seeing a frog fly. But
Have you seen that?
Sorry, I just got to write that down.
Have you
Flying
seen a frog
frog.
fly?
I mean, not so much as I've seen them leap. It's fine. It's just sort of a turn of phrase. Now,
Oh.
this mist appears to be getting a bit thicker, and I mean, usually mist comes from the water over the land, or kind of from some kind of mountainous place as the clouds roll down. But
Oh, that's.
I mean, I can't even see any kind of tall structure for this to kind of emanate from. So maybe we're in for a misty year, and that's just kind of what it's like here.
All right. Okay.
You don't have to worry about us getting into dock, fine. We've done this quite, I've certainly done this a few times. Most of the crew have
I
done it.
appreciate that, but I was not worried about you, as the mist appears to be mostly kind of landlocked. So
Is the mist sort of giving off as we sort of move towards and through the mist? Is it active moisture in the air, or is it like?
Yeah, I mean,
Just
give me the perception or investigation, but tell me what you're rolling.
cool. I'm gonna roll perception, investigation, because my perception is -2. That was still not great. That's a 12.
Yeah, you're not entirely sure. I mean, you start to try and intellectualize your way through it. Like, you tear off a tiny piece of paper and hold it up to see how damp and whether it curls the paper in the mist. And you just kind of think, from where you're from, you often get these mists that dissipate really quickly when the sun just burns through it, and you're sort of not overly worried. You think it will probably burn off quite quickly once the day moves on.
Okay, I kind of clap ever so slightly, and one of my sort of slightly thicker shawls comes out from the luggage and wraps itself around me.
Beautiful. It's about at this point that you sort of hear this. It's very quiet at the moment. There's not a lot of people are actually doing very much. They've all The cargo from down below that needs to be on deck has been brought up. The sails have been raised, and it is this calm that every time you speak, you are kind of piercing that silence, other than the lapping of water on the front of the ship. And then there's this sort of loud flapping sound as a huge bird comes tumbling into the mast and the sail, with the sails that are like wrapped up. It hits the side of it, tumbles down. It's got big like webbed feet that plonk onto the ground, and it stands up. This sort of 2.5, 3 foot albatross stands on the deck of the ship.
Oh, now, buddy, you good?
No.
You okay?
Shoo!
No. Hey, buddy, you okay? You're looking a bit dazed there, son.
The sort of hooked front of the albatross's bill comes forward, looks up at you.
Can I stroke the top of its bill, the bill, a bit?
That's
You go to touch it, it goes.
It hooks with. You can't go near there. You shouldn't go near there.
No, it's fine. He's a friend. Can I attempt to like stroke it at all and just make sure it's not wounded?
Roll animal handling.
Oh, fucking abso-fucking-lutely. Let's go. Can Jaques help?
Jaques walks up to it and immediately steps back. And Jack's eyes go to you. Looks at you.
You good, Jaques? I rolled a 22.
With the 22, as you put your hand down, it doesn't attack you, but it does always, as your hand comes down, it just ducks underneath the hand. You never quite make purchase, like to actually touch a feather. And then as your hand moves...
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
So if I'm nearly touching it, can I feel its heat? The heat of the animal?
Like it's there, do you mean?
Yeah.
Can you feel that it's actually a thing?
I must have come across so many albatrosses?
No,
Albatron monstrosities. And yeah, can I feel like the body heat of the bird?
I'll tell you this, as your hand first goes onto its bill, you feel a tiny little puff of breath come from the nostrils.
Yeah.
Just real bumping up against my albatross knowledge here.
Please, there are so many diseases on these things. Please, leave it alone.
Fine. If y'all just stop panicking, this little guy, he seems okay. He seems to have his wherewithal. He's gonna get going on his way. You good? I'm just gonna come up,
raises
step up.
its head up, looks at the sky, puts its wings out, which each wingspan is about 6 foot, and it makes this call up to the sky, and like screams up into the sky, and then pulls its wings back, walks with its very clumsy, massive feet to the side of the boat, and flies off into the mist.
See, I told y'all, he'll be fine. He's done got a bump on his noggin. I've got real cowboy.
Why did it? I'm doing your accent. Why did it scream like that?
It was just, like sometimes when you kind of hit your toe against the end table and all you want to do is yelp.
All right, yeah.
It's kind of like
scream.
he's just kind of like.
We just clean where it was, please. I don't want to catch anything. Please, just can someone get a mop? Does anybody have a mop?
Maverick, the sea's gone through that. But one thing I will say, if this is the dirt you're worried about, I'm concerned about you living on this island, just 3 of us.
Elrond, my good man. Fucking yes. Why do you think I'm trying to leave?
Now, something I can do for you, although, maybe we don't take liberties where we don't need to. I have kind of like a sense for these things, so if you're worried about poisons or diseases and whether you can and cannot, should and should not, and would not, and could not eat things, you just let me know and I can get my peepers on it. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think I go back to my spot at the prow of the ship.
It's like anxious Titanic. Near, far, wherever you are.
I'm not the king of the world. Yeah, I'd say, this boat continues to push forward, and it is at this point achingly slow because they are just letting it naturally pull into dock. And then finally you see this tiny peninsula of like beach and the beginning of a wood dock, and the boat pulls in so neatly onto the dock and stops. And the moment that it stops, the crew go into action and start shifting crates onto the shore. And Faraday just goes, they're not here, but they'll be here in a minute. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
It's fine. We can get to moving these crates, barrels, bags, and satchels and sacks and whatnot.
Yeah. What do you need help with? Cece's doing that thing of like she looks like she's helping, but she's just like her hands are hovering
like
underneath.
Rachel in Friends.
Yeah, she's like.
Mav is not doing that.
Al's going to give all of his worldly possession to Jaques, which is kind of like an underfilled brown satchel with a fishing rod and a bow and a thin quiver of arrows.
And just describe Jaques. I don't think you described Jaques earlier on. Just
Jaques
give us a quick rundown.
Jaques is a kind of like a dark orange and black giant crab. I mean, I called him a giant crab. He's about 4 foot wide and about 2 foot tall. He's a little guy. He's shaped like a friend.
Pal. With his jiggly
He's shaped
paws.
like a large friend.
It's weirdly difficult to find a giant crab mini, and when we were going to play this in person, I was struggling so much. I got this is bait from a fishing shop, and it smells
Disgusting.
like salt water.
Absolutely gross. Smells horrid. It's been in our flat for a year.
But yeah. Also, for those of you who subscribe, there are emotes of all of the gang and Jaques.
Yes.
Get your crab on. But yeah, Jaques is going to take Elle's bag down the gangplank, because then Jaques is going to be off the gangplank into the sand where he's at his like most maneuverable, and take things like start to form a line. So Elle's going to position himself on the gangplank. Jaques is going to be down at the bottom, and Elle's going to take stuff from the boat and give it to Jaques. And
yeah, you see members of the crew who are like hanging off the edge of the boat because there was so much surplus cargo that they actually strapped it to the side of the ship. And whilst a lot of that was robbed of you in the great storm that you survived on the way here, some of it is still there. So that is being unstrapped and taken off. And that actually, I would imagine, if you are getting Jaques to help, that would be the thing that Jaques would be the most helpful
they'll
at.
just loose the netting and let it drop into the shallows, and Jaques can go and start to retrieve it. Absolutely. He's in his element. He's in his absolute element, and he loves it. Just every time he bobs his little head up from the water, he does that little crab bubble noise thing. The little like crab chittering. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
But yeah, I'll help move stuff, and I'll be like, probably Mav and Cece with their luggage. I'm like, now come on, y'all. Like, you got, Mav, I need to ask you where you buy luggage that's hard, like, because then you can't just sort of like roll it. Why are the boxes hard? Like, they don't give. If you need to put
I'm
more.
sorry,
in
I don't understand your question. They keep my things safe. I need my things to be safe.
Elle is currently holding your big chest that holds your perfume wardrobe.
Elle, be careful. If my things aren't safe, they are liable to be far more fragile and to potentially break. And I cannot have broken things. You understand that, don't you?
Why do you bring
understand?
to an island that might be fragile? I got a change of clothes. I got my bow. I got my fishing rod, which I could make myself. And a couple of basic survival pieces, but that's about it.
As do I, my good friend. As do I. And I think I sort of waved to the unseen servants that are currently still on the ship to kind of start bringing stuff over onto the beach as well.
Cool.
It's like a posh version of Fantasia.
Yeah. A lot of these crates are, onto the dock, then onto the beach. The beach starts to, you can just sort of see this. The mist is really starting to close in, but you can kind of see as you step onto the beach peninsula that it pulls up into, it sort of peaks up and up into stony ground that is going up, and they're at the beginnings of a path up the way. And Captain Faraday, is with a manifest, like ticking things off, and keeps like glancing up to the path, and then walks back to where the dock meets the kind of rocky hillside. And there is a pole with a bell hanging off it, and hooked onto the pole is the dingle dangle.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
no,
I don't know bell facts, but the dingle dangle bit is like is taken out of the bell.
It's called the
and
bell
hooked
end.
She takes it, she puts it in, and she gives it a huge ring, which is suddenly this cacophonous noise in amongst quite a peaceful it is that noise just rings out through the mist, and takes it back out again, hangs it on the post, and looks at you, and the sort of says, maybe they'll be here soon. The mist will have meant they didn't see us coming in or something like that.
Shall we go find them? Do you want us to go find them?
I would assume that's.
Well, I mean, if you want to go and find them, that's fine. We won't. You can go if you want.
I just don't go before. I want to say bye to everyone before you go.
Oh right. All right. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Right.
I mean, maybe make your way up. I've never seen the island, as I've said before, but I believe that path will take you to the homestead.
Well, how about we take our stuff to the homestead, and they're probably just having such a good time. They don't want to leave, so we can go.
Yeah,
and say,
having
hey.
a final breakfast or something together. That's what I'd do if I was.
Exactly. I reckon we should all go find them.
Well,
Matt?
it's up to you. This is your place now.
Oh, all right. Shall I? Am I going on my own?
Well, I just want to make sure we get all the the food and the manure and the kind.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. That's our job. We will not mess you up on that one.
I know and I trust y'all, but I would say that if it pertains to my survival, I would like some kind of oversight.
You know what, darling? You sort the manure out, and myself and Cece can go up to the house, okay? And look over at Cece and go, let's go.
All right.
I'll say this: if you want, you're going to come back because Cece wants to say, goodbye, and we've got several people who've become very fond of you. Come back with the people, and we'll do a kind of, handover, and I'll hand you the manifest. You can make sure you got everything. I want to make sure you're comfortable. Obviously we lost quite a lot at sea, but I want to make sure you're comfortable that we've done everything right by you. So you go on up, come back, double check everything when you come back.
If y'all insist, Jaques, do you wanna? You can stop splashing now. You've got the crates. Do you want to come with, or do you want to? You're coming? Come on then. Let's go see where we'll be staying. And no, you cannot have the top
slings
bunk.
your bag on his back, and
I'll
does
carry
the
that,
same
son, and I'll take it off him.
Takes Cece's bag, and then he goes over to Mav's big pile and kind of his claws go out in front, and he's not sure which one to take first.
Just be careful. Whichever one you do, be careful, please.
Now, Mav, he's literally held you during a storm. He's a gentle crab. You can.
Oh, and I have never been held more tenderly. I am just very, very aware that I have a lot of things
Okay,
that I would like
do you
to.
have something that you would think maybe should be the first thing to bring to our abode?
He's immediately picked up the chest of perfumes.
Yes, that one. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's perfect.
And he starts
This is going to be good.
making his way up the pathway. And very quickly, you are swallowed by the mist. You can only really hear the gentle noises of the people moving stuff off the ship, and you are on a path that, it's very quiet again. And there starts to be long grass on either side of the path, that kind of thin but tough grass that grows sometimes in stony areas. Come on then. And there's no wind, there's no sound but your feet. It starts to be a little bit claustrophobic as the mist is getting to be kind of quite a lot. Every once in a while, there is a sudden and you see the looming figure of the albatross overhead, and then it's gone again.
Lydia, every once in a while, there is the sound of very quickly followed by from Mav every single time. Fucking thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I really.
Is it gonna eat us? Does it want to eat us?
It's not. Now, look. Here's the thing. If you're in a place where there's a lot of fishing,
Right.
yeah, and there's not a lot of people, I tell you where you'll find the birds. It's where the people is, because they're the ones with the fish.
I don't have any fish though.
I know that. You know that. Even Jaques knows that. He don't.
I don't have any fish for you.
He can't hear you.
All right.
It's about just look, just drop the shoulders and just walk like this is where you belong, and the other like critters, crawlies, and big beasties should probably leave you alone.
All right, I can do that. I belong here.
Yes.
Now let's find this house.
House.
Ew. This walk up the hill, it feels endless after a while. It is a long walk of steep hill climbing. You're beginning to kind of understand that you're gaining quite a lot of height above sea level, and then suddenly there's a fork in the road. Anyone would like to, you pick a path or do a check or roll a, what would you like to do?
I would like to ascertain, did the dock that we come from look like that's where people would fish from, or does it look like that's basically the big ship dock?
That's the ship dock.
Super. So I want to look at what path has the fewest footprints leading to this path, assuming that that will be the one like least traveled. So like they'll probably this while it's like a fork to us, it's probably like closer to like they probably do the round of the fork in my head.
Right.
Like I'm just trying to imagine.
So that's definitely a survival check. Anyone else that wants to do an investigation or a perception?
I'm gonna get Jaques to help me.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
CC just did ip dip do, and it's picked right.
I'll do an
Will you do an
investigation.
investigation. Yeah, do an investigation if you want. I've got a feeling we've had our first nat 20.
And our first nat 1.
Oh my god!
Oh. Wait, so you got a nat 20 and a nat 1, or you got just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, look, always accept crab help, because crab help is good help.
Crab help is good help. You heard it in the first place.
Can't disagree.
What
with
did
that.
you?
Oh, that was a healthy 9.
Healthy 9. Well, the first thing that I'll say, with your 9, you find a big boulder that's in between. You're walking up this path and it goes like this, and then there's a boulder here, which looks sort of interesting and on purpose. But that's as far as a 9 will get you.
Okay, I'm gonna start looking at the crevices in the boulder, seeing if there's any cracks, anything that I can kind of open out or push in, or just go.
You're looking for buttons, right?
This has to be. It has to be something. There has to be something. This whole journey has been testing enough. Just has to be another test.
Elle, while he's doing that, the way that you kind of are looking at this path, the majority of the footprints go right from where you're from the path that you've been on, and it walks out. Most of them go this way, and let's just take a quick look at your passive. Ow, 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 ow.
My passive what?
Your passive investigation.
Your passive, ow, 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 ow.
My investigation's not amazing.
It's just Malloy's got his foot claws right in my crotch. It's quite long. I have a cat called Malloy, just in case we've got new people in the chat wondering what the fuck's going on.
Lydia has a goblin.
Goblin cat.
There's a cat. There's a cat. There's a cat.
Lydia has a husband who likes to file his nails down.
Lydia, hold him higher. People didn't see him very well. Hold the boy. Show the boy.
He just punched you. Hey, buddy.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Oh.
With your nat 20 survival, you see that the main amount of like wearing on the path goes right, and as you are, Mav is like almost communing with this boulder, and you just look over his shoulder and see that there are clearly pictures on the boulder. One picture that goes right has a picture of a house and an arrow, and then there's a picture of like a squiggly line and then a lighthouse poking out behind it, and there's an arrow going that way, and the arrow, the way that comes, has a boat on it. He's not really seen that. He's just touching it a lot.
Folks, this is just like my book, Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. There is. I can feel. We have to close our eyes and feel the patterns on the rock. Come, feel.
All right, I'm feeling.
Maverick, now in your book, were there clearly marked directions on how to get to the house just south of where you're putting your hand?
Well, no. That's why we had to. Oh, okay. Yes, I see them now. Apologies.
It's look, hey, if I ever come across a situation where I need to write a book, I'll probably be feeling up pages hoping words come out. So, it's okay that today is not like you at your best. You just gotta roll with the punches sometimes.
I will certainly roll with that particularly barbed punch, my good friend.
Now, I didn't mean anything like that. It just sort of means like we all got our specialities, and yours is either words and having luggage, and Cece's is, not dying, I suppose.
Yes.
I can arrange a really brilliant brunch.
Now,
good gods.
Where does brunch? So, I spent some. We're walking as we're talking. Yeah, I spent some time with halflings, so I know we go from we got breakfast, then second breakfast.
Right.
Now I'm usually asleep by 11's.
Right.
And then we have lunch and tea, dinner, and supper.
Yeah.
Now I'm missing, if I'm honest, maybe a third of these meals. Now, which one is brunch, or is brunch like?
Oh well, it's probably like it sort of depends. Probably it's either a replacement for second breakfast, but it's a bit grander than breakfast. It's
it's like breakfast with a little hat.
Yeah, but like 11's is like a little like a snacked kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas brunch is sort of like an umbrella of second breakfast and 11's, I'd say. It's like a longer thing,
So it's sort of like how you can have like a barbecue, and that can be both dinner, tea. It can go dinner, tea, and supper.
Exactly.
It's sort of like the energy that you bring to the meals, right?
Not really at a barbecue.
It's sort of like where you have a fire outside and you cook the food. No.
Oh, what? A la carte.
Well, I don't know what that word means, so I'm just. There's no cart. It's just sort of like there's like a flame and like maybe some sticks or like
You know,
like
a la
grill?
carte, mitze, darling, like, you know.
Oh, right, like a garden party.
Yes, yes.
Oh, right, I
Is
see.
all this just fancy words for eating outside?
Well, yeah, I guess a garden party you eat outside, but
It's at this point that the path comes to becomes it starts to snake down a cliff edge again. Very steep, like it's not quite a cliff edge, but it's very, very steep path down a mountain. So you begin to realize that you have walked up a path, up a hill that has curved round. I'm going to say this right now, that this is something that Elle picks up. Mav absolutely hasn't got a clue. He just thinks he's gone up a hill and down a hill, and probably the same for Cece. But Elle, you realize that you've gone up a hill and it's curved round, and now you're about to go back down the cliff, and this is kind of like a large bay, and you are now going to walk down into the bay again.
So the first time I feel like my foot go lower, I'm just gonna sort of like bring my eyes away from the conversation and look ahead. Immediately feeling like I'm at like a vantage point. Can I like take a look out and kind of assess what, like, this is the best time to look out and kind of see what's coming?
It absolutely would be, but I'm not going to have you roll because you have that absolute instinct within you to go, this is a perfect time, I need to get a lay of the land, and all you are confronted with is fog, to the point now where you are losing the path just a few meters ahead of you.
Now this is what I was talking about, how the mist just seems, it's thick and it's inland.
it's a little odd, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I'm honestly just saying what you said. But
Now, you know, that's fine. I think we
it
maybe
might be
just,
something like magical.
I mean, it feels normal to me. Like I just.
Wait. I think I've got like, and I'm gonna concentrate really hard on my ring, and try and feel a connection to Joltish. If I said that right?
Sure.
We'll never know.
I'll say it different every time, and in one time I'll be right.
What are you rolling? You're rolling
Vibes.
I'm rolling vibes.
You may take your pick, but tell me what you're rolling of Arcana or Survival or.
I'm gonna roll Arcana. I rolled an 11, so that's a 10.
You put your hands out, trying to touch, trying to connect with your patron, and for a second you feel this little starfish that's wrapped around your hand just it almost shifts in place around your finger and sort of hugs more tightly to your finger, and then it's mist, just fog in it.
Think it's just mist. I'm pretty sure it's just mist. I don't think there's anything magical about it, actually. It's just weather, innit?
I mean, are you just still doing the thing where you're saying what I'm saying? Because it's fine if you are, but like.
Yeah, I am. I'll be honest with you, Elle.
That's okay. That's okay.
Can I, looking at the mist, I realise we've fully been scuppered by the very first thing that we've come across on this island, which is
Love it.
which is air and water. But can I from my small sort of bag, can I take out one of my sort of candles, and I'll sort of twist my hand around the candle, and a small flame kind of lights up from it. Does the flame dissipate the mist around it at all? Yeah. Dissipate the mist, like, or.
That would be you need investigation to look around the candle.
Because I'll be honest, Mav is just enormously suspicious of everything so far. Didn't like the albatross. Doesn't like the island. That was an 18.
They're the two things you've interacted with that didn't come with us on the boat, which is the albatross and the fucking island we're on.
I'm a Brit abroad. I'm a Brit on holiday.
Can't get you decent fish and chips in Benidorm. It's ridiculous.
You conjure that flame, and you hold it far away from yourself, and you're not quite sure. You place it down on the edge of the cliff, and you walk away to see at what point you're starting to see mist in front of it, and you go back and you're trying to see if it's pushing it away, and you come up thinking that you're absolutely not sure, but you're looking very intensely.
It's certainly mist. Of what nature? I'm not sure.
Now, are you also doing the thing where you're just sort of saying what I'm saying? Because, like, it is fine, but, like, the conversation's going to get real short if it's just y'all repeating me.
I feel as though we're just running around in a circle, repeating each other. I feel like we just need to continue going and make sure that we're actually on the right path, because currently we're going around in circles and we're not going to get anywhere with this, I don't think.
There's no point when you know this path is wide and it's well worn, and at points there's even like a kind of ramshackle handrail that goes down the side of the cliff edge, of the hill edge, and just as you are heading to the base where it would become shoreline, there is a rope bridge, a rickety rope bridge that disappears into the mist. I mean, the rope bridge doesn't move. The rope bridge is stationary, and you can't see the other side of it.
Rope bridge mimic.
But damn, that's another good idea. But
right. I think this is well within L stride. I think a sketchy ass rope bridge in the middle of like poor visibility, middle of nowhere jungle or something is something he's come across and just gone, it'll be fine. Like it's like.
It's a fucking rope bridge.
Elle's like 4 steps onto the bridge when they start talking. He's like, no, what? Sorry?
Is it safe?
I have read and written so many stories. I can honestly tell you that these things are never safe. I'm not going over that. Absolutely not.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I am, and Jaques is with your bag, so I'm turning into Benedict.
That voice, L, as he's talking to you and talking over his shoulder, you just stop being able to see him. Jaques is ahead, and the mist just kind of swallows him up, and you can just hear his voice, and Cece looks back at you.
I just push Mav onto the bridge. Come on, Mav. I think we just got to do it, all right? We're here now. It's an adventure. You know, it's more, this is something you write about in your book. It's going to be fine.
Right. Fucking do it. Okay.
This is big I'm a Celebrity vibes for the people who really can't even get into the jungle.
You're walking on this rope bridge and seeing the water below, and soon the rope bridge actually kind of pulls you up so that you can only hear the water, you can't see it anymore. And you can't see land on either side. You are just moving on this rope bridge which swings. And at one point you actually come to a very small, I mean, to call it a mini island is ridiculous. It is like a 20 by 20 foot bit of like land that's come up out of the water, and so for a second you have your feet on land, but the only other option is to get on another rope bridge. It's literally just like a port in between two long rope bridges.
The idea of Mav seeing land and going, And then the mist like parting as he moves, just immediately seeing another bridge.
I think there are just tears sort of silently running down Mav's face, just going, why?
Oh my God,
Why
it's
have
like
I
giving
done
a
this?
kid a
I don't
Christmas
know.
present.
I really don't. Google, Jesus. Yeah.
And then there'd be just every now and again, there's still the kind of as the albatross swoops overhead, just constantly like finding you in the mist, checking where you are, and then moving away again. And it is, a fair few minutes of just walking and walking and walking. Finally, you see a wooden arch and the edge of land and a path that moves into a land, into a land.
A land.
A land.
Is it over?
You are. So you just continue to walk.
Yeah. I think Elle's following the path.
Can Cece's like concerned they haven't heard anyone? Can she try and hear voices or like hear like?
Roll perception.
Oh, Cece,
Oh.
sweet summer child, Cece. That's a 13.
Nothing. You are walking along this path, and you're starting to see either side of your path now. Even though that mist is getting a little bit thicker, there are little flower beds with like hollyhocks coming up out of the flower bed, and little rose bushes, like quite wild and woolly. And eventually, you hear.
Get it away! Get it away! Get it away!
Now, can like are these wild roaming chickens?
You don't know yet. You just hear the.
No, just because I was like a bit ahead of them. If they've slowed down to go through the bridge, I just if they're wild roaming pigeons, I think Elle would have picked one up, and I just really like the idea of Elle stepping back through the mist holding a chicken.
You can for sure try and find. You can try and roll a survival to follow the bucks to try and find the chickens. Roll for buck.
23.
With a 23, you're gonna have to be you kind of move around and come across a little bit of fencing, and then you see a white, quite fluffy chicken with like a scraggly little neck and like a little pom-pom head with a chicken beak coming out of it, and it looks up at you.
Should I scoop it and like hold it under my arm and then like?
Just give me, because I know Michelle is a chicken expert. Just give me a quick animal handling, because you know that's not a smooth transition.
That's a 21.
Elle? Oh, Jesus.
That's a what? A 20?
21.
21.
Jesus fucking Christ, he's dead. He's dead. Cece, he's dead.
He's not dead. He can't be dead. No, it's fine. It's fine. Mav, it's fine.
With
all right?
one very swift movement, you got a chicken.
And I'm just gonna step back down, like walk back on the path a bit to see like where they are, and then when Mav's
you definitely hear the voice. He's dead.
I'm just gonna step forward holding a chicken. Y'all okay? Now, I just like just stroking it on the head.
Oh God, please. I just need to check whether it's touch or whether it's no, it's not. Oh, I'm just. You can sort of see me kind of just like doing this every single time. Elle touches the chicken as I cast prestidigitation every single time, just to clean him, because it's not the chicken. It's the actually yes, the chicken. That makes more sense. I'm just going to zap the chicken with prestidigitation.
Just
What
gets
are y'all doing?
fluffier and fluffier and more like a poodle chicken. The more you prestidigitate it, the more like blow dried it gets in its feathers, and sort of wider and fluffier until you can barely even see its eyes. Its hair's got so much like frizz and roundness to it.
It eats magic. We have to kill it now.
Now,
Mav, no.
Maverick. I mean, I mean, one day probably, but like
What? No.
just right now, she's living her best life.
All right, just checking.
You, at this point, I will say, Elle, you kind of like, you roamed off in another direction, came back, but you got back to the path, and it's at this point that it's very abrupt because of the mist. You are suddenly confronted by a building. See, it is a couple of stories high, has little kind of small turrets on either side. There's an overhang in front of the front door, which you can see, and the doors are open.
Hello.
I'm going to say, Elle, as you step forward to say hello, something catches your eye. You've stepped in a pool of blood.
Y'all good? Now I'm gonna come in, mostly because of the pool of blood. Now I do
What
not
did you
want.
say?
There's a.
I'm
Y'all.
sorry.
What?
It's fine, y'all. There's a little bit of blood. It could be from animal slaughter or something. They're doing it wrong if it is. Y'all good? Can I follow the blood a bit? I still got the chicken. Jaques, put the bags down. I think I'm gonna need y'all for this.
As Elle mentions there's blood, Cece subconsciously, just the mist around her sort of just like sticks to her as mage armor just takes effect.
Yeah, I think equally Mav sort of grabs a book from his side and starts to sort of flick through it, kind of trying to find the right page. And as he does, he pulls the words from the page, and it hits him as mage armor sort of starts
Beautiful.
to.
What does
come
your
up on
mage
him.
armor look like? Probably just more fancy clothes, right?
Oh, it looks like a sort of sheen of lettering and typography, sort of just like shimmering just above the clothes themselves.
Lovely. And apart from those two things that happen, Elle, you call out that, asking if someone's all right, and it seems to just echo through into the dwelling, and there is no reply. There's no footprints going into to see, but what you do see as you step in, you realize this is sort of a Haveli-esque style building, in the sense that there's a courtyard in the middle with a spring, and immediately to your right you see an open, like an archway with a kitchen through, and to your left is a door that's closed. You don't see any more blood, but if you wanted to do, you're welcome at this point to do anyone there can do like checks.
Can I do another, like a tracking check? Can I do another survival, basically?
You can do another survival, yeah. That will mainly be with a survival check. Will be about the blood that's in the doorway, because it's kind of tricky to.
Let me. In which case, I'll do a persuasion, perception instead.
You're going to persuade the blood, sure.
My perception is a dirty 20, or a Daniel Bedingfield.
Daniel Benningfield. Right. Here's what you see as you step in. And
I've got Nugget with me still.
am I right in thinking that you two behind are following right behind him as he's kind of looking down and kind of investigating and perceiving?
Yes, for sure. I think Cece's like right behind Elle with like her hand like on his back, and is sort of pulling Mav along behind her.
Mav is literally, he's got his this sort of ledger in front of his face, and is kind of like peeping over, like
The tiniest shield.
yeah.
I have been L in this exact situation when I went to Thorpe Park's fucking Halloween event with 3 girls who were terrified of everything, and I was like, oh, this is just. It was.
That's a very British thing for our largely American audience, I think, right now.
You can already see, this is, I would say this is what your perception check of a dirty 20 gets you. There's a lot of decay in this house that is not part of the situation you're currently in. It's just generally the house is in far more decay than you would have anticipated. In fact, on the far side, there are walls that have collapsed to the point where you can actually see the mist on the outside of the house on the other side. So there are parts of the house that have just fallen and not been kind of put back up. And the kitchen that was to your left, there is a dining room that kind of leads through from that. And as you're stepping through, there are several things that you notice. The first thing you notice is black scorch marks on the wall in almost like a spray fashion. And the second thing that you notice when you move through into the dining hall is that there's food on the table, and you put your hand to one of the mugs, and it's not hot, but it's lukewarm still. And it's a 20. Okay, here we go. So then you circle back round just the ground floor of this dwelling, and you see on the edge of the spring is an open book, which appears to be a log. It's very much like a kind of similar to a journal, but every day it is people, different names and dates and what has happened on the islands those days. And the final thing that you see, because you've now done a full circuit back to the doorway and the blood, is that there are actually bloody footprints that are leading off back. You hadn't noticed them so much, but you see a footprint heading off in a different direction.
I'm going to pick up that book and pass it back to Mav.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, look, there's something for you. And then I'm going to try and follow these bloody footprints, and I'm going to give Cece, can you put Nugget back in the pen? Don't lose her.
What pen?
There was a pen. It's in the mist a bit, and I'm
want
going
me
to
to
follow.
go there now?
He's just going to follow the footprint, the bloody footprints.
Wait, am I not staying with you? Do you want me to go there now? What do you want me to do?
He's
I think
what do I do? Mav, what do I do with this chicken?
I think Mav has sort of gone with Elle as he walked off, like flicking through the logbook.
All right.
Lydia, can I read? Can I flick right back to the last page, and can I read what is on the last page? Like
You certainly can. You certainly can. I'll say this, because you are being led by, am I right in thinking this? Because I was just trying to send you something. That Elle's leading the way, Cece's got the chicken, but you're all going in the same, you're all following the bloody footprint.
No,
I was following the bloody footprints. And I gave Cece the chicken to either keep hold of or take back to the pen. Like, if Mav's coming with, I've just gone...
Yeah.
Then Mav, you're probably staying with Cece. Am I right in thinking that?
No, but I was going with Elle.
reading.
I was fully subconsciously sort of like following the footsteps that were kind
Mav
of.
just kept walking in a different direction. Just wandered into the mist.
I've sent you essentially a document that has some of the logs. I'm you know I like to over prepare, but I haven't written 10,000 years of logs. I'm just done.
Disappointing, really, Lydia.
Oh, come on.
What I might do right now is you've given us a lovely document. I'm gonna read the last two excerpts like now, and then I may read them at a later date. But yeah, you carry on, and I'll read this whilst it goes.
You looking at these footprints, essentially you see one footprint that is going pretty much in the direction from whence you came, and you realize, through everything that you've done, since your perception check, your survival checks thus far, there's no sound here but for the chickens. So nothing is happening here, it's happening somewhere else, whatever it is.
Now, it doesn't really sort of explain the blood, but maybe my thinking is they heard us coming and kind of ran to kind of meet us on the path, but got lost in the mist, maybe? I mean, the food is still, at least the drink is warm a touch.
Elrond, I think we need to be careful. I don't think these people are in their right minds anymore. As he continues to read the book, if you have any armament with you, I suggest you perhaps.
Well, I mean, I got a bow, but it feels kind of kind of mean. I'll grab it. I'll grab my bow and arrow, and say, well, then let's stick together. Cece, do you want to put Nugget in the pen, or are you happy holding it?
What? You want me to come back?
No, like you ain't gone nowhere. Like I'm here. Like let's put Nugget in the pen, and we're gonna sort of do a
How
sweep.
How about this, right? I just put Nugget on the floor.
No, oh, Jar. Can I try and grab it? Can I try and grab it?
Give me a dexterity a reflex.
It'll be fine.
That's
We have chickens running around our garden all the time.
That feels like a Michelle comment, not a Cece comment.
Yeah, you're
well, you got a
Michelle's
dexterity
show.
saving throw.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to ping that on D&D Beyond in the campaign. 21.
Yeah. As it's running, you just lift it up and it continues running in the air.
What?
I
now,
can keep hold of it.
Yeah, we can put her down in the pen, but like we don't know how many chickens we even got yet.
It's just gently pecking you. Its head kind of doesn't hurt too much, but it's just pecking at you now.
That's fine. Now, y'all just make sure Mav doesn't, hurt himself. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just gonna put Nugget away.
Wait, no, we gotta stick together. There's bloody footprints.
I'm gonna be in 1 second. Just look after Mav.
The voice as he disappears into the mist.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to where I found the pen, put Nugget within the pen, and come back.
Hello?
So,
Mav's there.
Yeah, Mav's reading.
Oh.
Is anyone here? Boat's here.
you hear a
Sorry, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I couldn't quite understand you. Where are you? Are you an animal?
Are you walking towards the noise?
Yeah. Hello?
Roll survival. At this point, I suddenly realise that you're actually really, really possible you could get lost in the mist and fall off the edge of a cliff, and that's the end.
Yeah.
Have you got your backup characters ready?
That's a 16.
Yeah, you step not necessarily right in the direction of where Elle disappeared to go and put the chicken away, but you're sort of hugging around the edge of the house and you head towards this noise. And then you are quite suddenly in front of you see this large face of a fawn that you know amount that is called a fawn, which is like a hippo kind of style of riding animal. But this is different. It's got mottled, dappled colors on it, little sprout of hair, and its mouth sort of hangs open slack, and its head is sort of staring at you, bovine in its thoughtlessness.
You right? Elle, I found an animal.
I think Elle's just like Elle, because she went sort of the same way Elle went, so Elle's gonna like kind of step back out of the mist, like, oh, you made a friend?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I kind of give it like a stroke. Now, what about Maverick?
He's reading.
I don't think. I feel as though I want to be here even less after reading.
Why? What? Yeah.
Hello?
Something seems off.
Hello?
You hear a scream of hello from inside the house, and you realise that you.
Yeah, Elle's gonna go back towards the house. Now, come on, let's
right.
maybe. I think maybe my independent sensibilities are probably not gonna be helping us the most right now.
Just tell me what to do, and I'll
It's
do
fine.
it.
If you can just kind of like keep an ear out and maybe say some things. Let's find Mav. Let's find out what he's found in the
Hello?
books, and then
I'm Cece, by the way. If you're
Mav,
out
you
there.
good? Y'all good?
While you talk to Mav, I'm going to go and pee.
Okay.
Go.
You good, Bob?
Yes, this ledger is this log is quite disturbing. They seem to the last people that were here seem to have not been in the best of health mentally. It would appear. There seemed to be a lot of infighting, and one of them tried to kill the other fairly recently. I don't know whether. I don't think it could have been this. Whatever happened here, because, well, they were left to write what it was that they were writing. But have the two of you found anything?
Found a farm.
Yeah, there's like some friends round the side.
Wait, can I have a look at that book, Nav? Like, what are you saying? What's going on?
Let me elucidate you. So,
Please, yeah.
37th Salacious, Jolene. Morale is low, still no Louis, he must be dead. Emmanuel is raving that he sees people on the island. How is that even possible? It's just us and Elska, and she just sticks to her temple and her hut, unless there is a storm. He has become convinced that ghosts are roaming the island and stealing from us. Ghosts is more likely than people, that's for sure. Kelly hasn't smiled since the sailors left. She said last night she wished she had left with them to die for relics in the ocean, that it would be better than living this drab life on this rock. 10th of Evadne, Kara, Jolene attacked me in the woods the other day, said I was thinning too much and we would ruin the woods. I thought she would kill me. Emmanuel is no longer sleeping in the homestead because he is obsessed with catching the people he is seeing on the island. I have taken on many extra chores, as well as all of Louis' duties, and I have had to cut down on sleep. I think that everything we have been through this year, how much we have suffered, and what we have conquered, the island still wants more from us, and it may be one test too far. I can hope that soon I will see Faraday's ship on the horizon, and she takes us away from this terrible place. I wonder if that delicious Fitzroy still sails with her. And you see Mav kind of write a little note in the notebook that he also has open at the same time. 13th of Lefis, Kara. We have been abandoned, I think. We have started consuming things that would have been for the people to come, and it is hard to get anyone to do their duties but for lighthouse duties. Each of us is either frayed to the point of destruction or have cracked under the pressure. What pressure, I am not sure, but I have not seen Emmanuel in 10 days. I have not shared a meal with someone in a month. I'm frightened. Things are happening that cannot be explained. This has always been so, but the unexplained now is in our bones. Every night I dream of saying goodbye to my dear children in Ephelamos. I know I will not see them again, and my heart breaks. And I think at this point, Mav just kind of takes a moment to kind of sit and take in what has evidently happened to these people whilst we were waylaid on our voyage here.
Now, what was that bit about them thinning out the woods too much?
I don't know. I think I can only surmise that they cracked. That's all it says, I'm afraid.
Alright, well, you take a beat. I'm just gonna, Lydia, can I take a look at the blood and the footprints that are leaving the house? Are they fresh? Like, are they wet blood footprints or dried blood footprints?
You can roll medicine or you can roll survival.
You know what I'm gonna roll?
Yep.
Survival.
I'll take that and I'll use it for like looking at what direction it's going in and sort of
23.
With a 23, you know, you don't quite touch the blood, but you get close enough to see that the edges have begun to dry, and there's a little bit of like coagulating, but it is still fluid, it's still very much a puddle, and you know that's a good enough roll that when you're then looking at the footprints that are going back towards the rope bridge, and you see that there are smears up some of the flowers and the grasses along the side of the path, and that stuff has dried. So by your estimation, you would say that all of this happened, you know, hour or so ago. Thinking about the fact that there was a cup of coffee that was not stone cold.
Yeah. Now you said that you said the only thing they are up for doing was lighthouse duty.
Yes.
Now they said something about a lighthouse, but what I mean, as far as I reckon, that's mostly just kind of sitting around making sure it's glowing. So I don't know what would be so enthralling and to get people going. Maybe upon noticing that someone's coming, they made headway for the lighthouse, or maybe headway for the shore.
Well, can we just follow these footprints? They might be hurt, whoever this is.
Let's go. Maybe we can leave y'all's what? Your luggage is so big and hard. I just don't.
Mine's not.
I mean,
Your stuff has been, you know, Jaques has already taken
Yeah.
it off and
I
has
think-
put it like inside the front of the house, and you're sort of heading out back towards.
Yeah.
Are you on the road bridge again?
Yeah, I think just to clarify, I think this stinks of some sort of Poirot-like mystery to Mav, and he is immediately sort of like locked into the story of this, and is quite kind
This
of
has given him an opportunity to disassociate.
absolutely. He's sat here twiddling his mustache like a fucking dictator.
hey, Cease, can you just make sure he doesn't, you know, stop or get boulder hugging again? As I'm just gonna have to keep
Wait,
an eye.
make sure he doesn't what?
Start boulder hugging again.
Oh,
I'm
Well,
all, it's all good, y'all. But I'm gonna keep eyes down because I gotta make sure we're going the same way as this
sorry.
this individual.
We'll follow you. You seem good at this stuff. I'm not really built for this.
I mean, people's just kind of it's not ideal, but you know, my eyes are okay. But yeah, can I basically try
Let's
and
start with that.
track this person?
With that 23 that you had before, we'll carry that across a little bit, and you get back on the rope bridge. And now that you're looking and you're like zoned in on following tracks, which you're so good at, you do see some stuff that you didn't see when you were coming in the other direction, which is little smudges of blood. Just every now and again, like every sort of 10 meters or so, you just see a little smudge somewhere, and you pick it up. You know, you kind of pick up that that trail a little bit again. There we go again. We've got something else, and you come back to the cliff edge, and you're back up the cliffs. So you're back on that landmass again, and when you get to the top of the hill, you're actually going off more towards the north right. Northeast instead of.
Is that like we would be cutting towards
Yes.
like the fork for the lighthouse, and so we went right.
Yeah, and then
right,
you
so
came
this
to the
would be
cliff
like
and you went
cutting
down.
that across,
Now
yeah?
you're going that way. Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Perfect. You got it.
Els clocked that and going. So we are going to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that in mind,
and-
he's going to pick up the pace just a touch. Like he's still keeping an eye out, but like, yeah, he's just going to pick up the pace just a touch. Going, my theory on destination feels correct.
Exactly. So you're not closely looking at the ground trying to pick up clues. You're going, I think this is where I'm going. And with your passive perception, you know, that is confirmed. You know, you're walking quite quickly, and it's confirmed every now and again when you see another little like patch of activity.
Yeah.
And but you are walking and walking and walking and walking, and it comes to the point where the three of you are having to huddle in, or the four of you, beg pardon, the four of you are huddling in quite a lot because it's very easy to lose track. You know, there are a couple of times when suddenly you realize that they're sort of out of arm's reach and the mist is beginning to take them, and so you kind of call them back in and you pull in as a group a little bit more. And after, you know, you walk for quite a long time, and then you begin to realize that you are in a path that is going through hills on either side. I don't, you know, when I say hills, steep, not really mountainous. You know, the mountains aren't like over the top of you. They're not quite mountains, but they are big on either side.
Like feel like a ravine, or
that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Otherwise known as a perfect choking point and tactical ambush zone. Yeah, one of those.
And just perhaps Mav, with his intelligence, suddenly has this thought of like, I think I've written this scene, and Elle almost trips over a body in front of him. You don't quite, because you've got good reflexes, but you do like suddenly stop, and everyone like piles into the back of you, and you in front of you is the body of an Aarakocra, parrot-like Aarakocra.
Paracocra, yeah.
Paracocra.
More like parrot croaker, am I right, guys?
Too soon.
We don't know that.
This Paracocra, it's done now, is like lying on the ground, and there's his wing is at a really alarming angle, clearly shattered in a few different places.
It's collided with the ground to some degree. It's not like an arrow shot to the heart or anything. This thing is clattered into the ground to break enough bones.
You'd have to roll an investigation to know anything more about it.
Can I not?
I personally think if you've kind of like shown us this, I personally think this is
it's my dead bird man. Absolutely, I'm gonna go. Hey y'all, this guy looks unwell.
In my full disassociation, in my full belief that I am living one of my stories as opposed to having to actually be here, I see this straight away as yet another clue, and I go straight to kind of investigating the body, like looking in to see if they've got pockets in their fucking wings, bags.
Roll investigation.
Anything around.
Yeah.
Does Mav have his driving gloves though? Is the question.
His driving gloves. But what he does have is he has the pipe that he always carries around, clamped in his teeth as he sort of searches. That's an 18.
Cool. With an 18, you see lightly dressed. They're still clutching a net in one hand, and not the person Annette, Annette. And with that investigation, I think you are looking at not just this Aarakocra. You put your hand on the chest and you realize it's too soft. Every rib in this body has been broken on the inside, and there's not a lot of blood. And you're looking at the ground around, just thinking to yourself, gosh, no blood, but so broken. And you see a green hand lying on the ground that the mist had been obscuring before, and you follow it and you see that there's another body of a goblin, a male goblin. And this male goblin does have blood on him.
Wait.
And then
I go back to the book, to the log, and go back a couple of pages and start to sort of speed read and say, wait. The log mentions a ship that came to this island. It's here. There is an Aarakocra called Maurice who tells jokes about drawing breath and is always fiddling with his net, and a hobgoblin woman who is called Buoni that is so in love with our island. It's lovely to see. They have a younger girl with them, a aquatic half-elf by my eye. Going back a little way, there's a fun goblin who is a captain and drank so much of our picross we had to pretend they were running low. What? Well.
So
what
this
mean?
does it? They're from a crew, from a ship. They're not the people that were staying here on the island. There were some other people
From another ship. Do you think...
As you are, I'm going to roll over because you rolled a good investigation, and you're doing all of this is all part of that investigation, like cross-referencing with the thing, and then this goblin, is kind of next to the part of the cliff on the ravine, and you just follow like this leg which is precariously like pushed up against the wall in the way that it's like laying down awkwardly, and you look up and you see draped over a bit of jutting rock the body of an elven man, limp, also lifeless.
Do they have wounds of any sort?
Yeah,
arrows in
they
them,
all
or-
have wounds, all different kinds of wounds. I'd say with your passive investigation, you're just like, wounds.
Can I roll a medicine check?
Yeah, of course.
I'm okay at medicine. Oh no, actually I'm pretty good at medicine. Oh, alright. 13. Had to end eventually.
With a... Did you say 13? Sorry.
Yeah.
With a 13, looking at these three bodies, you'd say the elf was killed by fire. The goblin was killed by a blade of some kind, and the Aarakocra some kind of, you're not really sure, but you have also picked up on the fact that there's a lot of broken bones and not, it's not like a perfectly preserved skin, but there are nicks and cuts here and there, but there's an awful lot of internal damage and not a lot of external damage.
Alan's guess will probably be like they've fallen, like Elsin people fall out of trees and stuff. Like that's sounds like at first, like first thought is that person's fallen out of the sky. Like they fly, a lot of blunt force trauma, broken bones, not a lot of skin lesions.
And Mav, one final thing from that good investigation roll is that there are more marks on the side of the ravine, which you would imagine are scorch marks or spells, arcane, like the offshoot of spells.
Well, there was certainly some sort of a battle here, whether or not any of our previous job keepers, whether they survived or not, I'm not sure. Shall we see if they are here?
Yeah. I'm gonna pick up the net.
Sure, you've got a net.
Always useful. And then, I mean, no, Elle wouldn't do that. I think y'all okay to just kind of move on with this one?
Like, none of this is what I was expecting.
Well, it's kind of the natural circle of things. If Mav's saying that maybe they
came and attacked.
Those that drink too readily from the stream are liable to fall in and get washed away with the flow. You know what I mean?
What stream?
It's not like a literal stream, like a metaphor. Maybe they've come here and maybe worn out the hospitality of these people and kind of like drained their resources, and it kind of blows. The map said, the book said that they drunk them out of their picros.
Right.
I think
just to roll my
as
arm.
you two are having this conversation, Mav is like continuing on, like tracing the scorch marks on the wall of this ravine and sort of like going. Continuing.
You're becoming a notorious stone groper. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on. I think Elle's gonna just not like pull an arrow back, but just kind of like get an arrow out and just kind of hold it in there.
And in that vein, just remind me about Mage Armor and Armor of Agathis. I think Armor of Agathis just stays until it goes, right?
An hour, I think.
Mage Armor lasts 8 hours.
Yeah, but I'm asking.
Mage Armor
Mage Armor is 8
Armor
hours.
of
Armor of
Agathis
Agathis
is 1.
I think they both did Mage Armor. Did you do Mage
I
Armor?
thought. Oh, sorry, Michelle. I thought.
Mage Armor. Sorry, yeah.
Cool. My mistake. So 8 hours, beautiful. So you've both got your Mage Armor is still very much up, and you push through, and you are walking, come out the other side of the ravine, and there is a moment after walking for maybe another 10 minutes, and then suddenly, there is this pulse of magenta in the mist. The mist just suddenly becomes magenta, and then it's gone again.
What is that?
And you step forward a few steps, and whoom, the mist. Again, that purple pink whoom, comes through. You keep walking forward.
We mean you no harm.
You're walking and walking. Every now and again, you see that just everything around you is purple, and then it dissipates again, and you are just in the white mist, walking forward. And suddenly, the path leads to the edge of a cliff, and you can hear crashing waves. You finally get another noise from the island, and you're getting the crashing waves below. You have now come to the very northernmost part of the island, and you can make your way down to the beach. All of this edging because the mist is so tight. And your feet touch onto the soft sand. And you are on a beach. Every now and again, the mist is purple, and then it goes back to white. Are you gonna keep, what are you doing now that you're on the beach?
I think I would really like to figure out what the fuck this sort of like pulsing is. Whether there's like whether it's coming from a fixed focal point and we're kind of like moving around in that kind of pulse, or whether it's when you say pulse, it feels like, in my mind, it feels like a kind of a forceful sort of barrier, almost like a sonar's kind of. Do you know what I mean?
Roll investigation, because it's not really investigation. Yeah, kind of. It's not really like, it's not rolling over you. It is just pulse is more about the tempo of it. It's like suddenly the mist is purple and then it's white again.
Cool. Super. That's a 7.
Yeah, you can't figure it out at all. And actually, the thing that alarms the most is that the three of you have now come to a beach, because there's no path on a beach anymore. So you're just on a beach.
Is there...
Wait, does this... you were following the tracks, right, Elle? Do they just lead into the water?
You'd have to give me an additional roll.
I will do that. Specifically, coastal boy.
Big time coastal.
Wow. So I get to add to... I now have a +9. 21. I'm looking for like compacted sand. So like, you know, you get desire paths, which is like usually in like well-built areas where there's like footpaths that like intersect and people just kind of cut through, and there's that kind of like wear away of like grass and stuff, and like it happens on beaches as well where the sand gets like compacted down and like less loose. So that's Elle's immediate thought is, where are people going? People are creatures of habit. There'll be like a bit where the sand is more compacted.
Just give me the total again.
21.
21. I'll say this, like, where the very beginning of the beach starts, you can see that kind of dip where it's worn through, and then it is like, I was about to make a real local reference. about to say it's a little bit like Holcomb, in the sense that it's extremely flat, and you can. This is compacted sand because the tide is out, but you walk forward, and Jaques skitters in the surf a little bit, like it just dipping his like legs in and going in, like washing off a little bit of the grit from the island, and then you sort of see him disappearing into the mist, and then you hear what can only be described, because you know him so well, as claw on wood. Tunk, tunk.
I'm immediately like eyes up where Jaques is. He's found
You can
something.
follow the noise. You can't see him. I'm guessing everyone is like trying to stick into that little huddle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you go, you wade out into the water, and what you see is a little rowboat, and Jaques in the rowboat, like holding the oars
Oh.
Now,
and offering
see?
them to.
Look, not just a pretty face, y'all. I'm guessing we're rowing across some kind of bay. Y'all want to get in?
Well, I don't think we should split up. So I think if you're going, we're all going.
Well, my guess is whatever that purple nonsense is something to do with the lighthouse, whether it should or should not be happening, whether it could or could not be happening.
And the oh, right, yes.
I'm
I'm still following this person with the bloody footprints, or do you think that was the dead bodies back
well, there's no bloody footprints in the sea, so we're probably just gonna have to be following the light at this point.
There's no immediate, just sort of going off your previous rolls, there's no immediate blood in the boat, but you climb in and you begin to row, and it's very, very quick because the tide's out.
Elle has like his trousers are pretty much always rolled up anyway to just upper calf, and he wears sandals.
You push out into the water, and for some of you, it seems like madness just to row out into the ocean, but you are all very, very quickly not. The first thing that happens is you see another rowboat, and the second thing that happens is that the boat comes to soft ground, and you get out, you begin to walk, and you are once again on another rope bridge, and up you go, the constant pulse that keeps happening of purple, the mist going purple and white again. And you come to another bit of land. One second, I've lost my place. And the thing that happens once you get off the rope bridge and realize you are absolutely now you are at kind of like on a bluff on out of the northernmost part of the island. Whoop, that is not correct. Just one moment. Make sure that I've got the right bit of music. And you hear a scream.
I'm
What
gonna
would
run
you like
towards
to
it.
do?
Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna start running.
Stay close, gang.
Are you okay?
Okay. You hear. One moment. God damn it.
It's all good. Not a problem. We are all still entirely here and invested.
Yeah.
You hear the scream. You call out. You step forward, and you hear the sound of shink of metal. You still can't see anything, but you're running. I'm guessing you're just running headlong towards the noise.
Yep.
I think at this point, the handle Cece has suddenly, again, the mist and the water in the mist, comes together and makes a sword in her hand.
I think
Talk.
as that happens, I'm gonna run towards Jaques, just kind of like hook onto his onto like the back carapace and kind of wipe like a word from my book and slap it on him as he grows in size as I cast enlarge.
Big crab.
Big Jaques. Yeah, very good. Running onto this bluff, you see more blood on the ground, and then you come across, suddenly you are very close, and you see people fighting. There is, by your eyes, a greeny blue colored half elf, a hobgoblin, a halfling, and a gnome fighting, and it is chaos. There are spells being thrown. There seem to be spectral tentacles coming up out of the ground. And as you come into view of it, you see the hobgoblin bring a hand hammer down on the. It's not a hammer. It is a hook on a chain. Hunk goes into the side of the head of the gnome. She puts her foot into his chest and yanks it out. And the body collapses to the ground as part of the face is still hanging by her hook at her side. It is at this point that they all turn and look at you. The hobgoblin calls out and says, "Siobhan, that's another one down." And the half-elf shouts back, "We have it now." And the halfling, looking at you guys, says, "Help us! They mean to steal this place!" And her eyes for a second are just full of hope. Can we please roll for initiative?
Do you want all of that in D&D Beyond, or you happy with it?
The first nat 20 that I've rolled, and it's not for anything useful.
Sorry.
I got a dirty 20.
All right, so we've got... Can we have anything that's above a 20?
21.
First?
22.
21, 20... 22 from Mav.
Yep.
Mav. Was 21 L or
Yeah.
CC? Sorry.
L. And I'm CC's 20.
As is Jaques.
Do you want Jax to go straight after you? Jax can go before me.
You sure?
Yeah.
Big crab. Big crab.
Nugget's gonna save the day.
Nugget.
What have we got ourselves in
Okay.
for?
It's gonna go Mav, L, Jax, Cece, the greeny blue half elf, the hobgoblin, the halfling. Just before you are about to, what's that?
Looks
I've
like a
got
feather.
fairies in my house. I've got fairies, guys. This is great. Just before Mav, you take your turn. The halfling has spoken, and the aquatic half elf quickly shouts out to you. Oh my God, why do I? You either stay out of this, or you join our side, and we can have this island together. What do you do, Mav?
I don't think those are the two only options. And he looked over at the hobgoblin with this bloody hook still in hand, and goes to the book, flicks open to a page, and scatters words from the pages. Those words sort of become a chain-like substance that kind of whaps. To use the technical term, whaps the hobgoblin. Can it make an intelligence saving throw for me?
Try.
I too make an intelligence saving throw when everyone whaps me.
Lydia, I don't think you have to roll. You get a 4.
I mean, it is a 0 to add to the 4, so it's a 4.
Cool. And as Tasha's mind whips out at this big old scary bitch, it takes I'm just rolling damage. Ooh, okay. 11 points of psychic damage. And to put it quite literally, as the spell permits or dictates. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. But it only gets.
Remember, as you're looking at at this hobgoblin, it's even with your it's not a nice way of putting it, but even with your passive perception, you would notice as you're concentrating on this hobgoblin that these people are worn down. Their bodies are tired. You see that as this hobgoblin is moving and pulling the hook on the chain back, they are sore. They have been fighting a long time, and they are already bloodied from battle quite a lot. And you take a chunk of health from this hobgoblin. Up next.
And just very quickly, as for my movement, I very quickly sort of back away and behind where Jaques is landing, I assume.
Cool. Okay. Up next is Elle.
So of the assailants, sorry, there's 2, correct?
I can't quite hear you.
Of the assailants, there's 2, correct?
That you can currently see, yeah.
Yeah. And does the hobgoblin look like the chunkiest?
The chunkiest, yes, but I'll say this: by your passive perception, the half-elf has these spectral tentacles coming up out of the ground that's sort of lashing about.
Seeing all this stuff, Ella's gonna kind of bring the kind of arrow up to eye line and just whisper something towards it. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the aquatic elf, and I'm also going to make them my favoured foe. So that's my bonus action, and I'm going to roll to attack with my self-made bow, and does a 21 hit, 22 hit.
Yeah, for the half elf, yeah.
Yes. So it is 1d8 plus plus 1d4 plus 1d6. Wonderful. Lots of 1d8 plus 1d4 plus 1d6 plus 5.
New characters, new combat, new mechanics. Who are all these?
Yeah, I've Hunter's marked. As I let loose my self-made arrow from my self-made bow, I'm just going to whisper a short prayer to the Swift Maiden, and do 20 points of damage.
Ooh.
As that arrow with the whispered prayer let loose, just like the Swift Maiden herself, it is true, and it goes straight into just above the collarbone of this aquatic half-elf, who is so shocked as it is just still sticking out of her. There's no blood, but she is so alarmed and still feeling that arrow piercing through her body, and looks absolutely aghast at this attack. Anything else that you want to do on that round?
And then I'm going to use my turn to just position myself off. Just for your reference, as a result of my bow, because it was my bow that cast Hunter's Mark, I ignore anything apart from total cover.
Okay.
So I'm going to put myself in a really difficult angle, so that should she wish to return fire, it would be very difficult for her. That's her turn.
Brilliant.
My turn.
What's Jaques doing?
Jaques is going to grab the hobgoblin. Grab. 19?
19 hits.
19 hits. So it is a D4 thanks to enlarge, plus a D6. Oh, 9. Does he get a bonus to his? Sorry, it's bloody. You wish you'd think it would be easier to kind of have a ranger companion on D&D Beyond.
They haven't quite nailed that.
Darling, I think the fuck not.
I think the fuck not. Just Google giant crab.
It's almost like people don't really play rangers enough for them to care.
It's right. It's like Beastmaster Rangers are like massively underpowered or something. So that is 10 points of damage, and they are grappled.
Okay. Is it actually a pincer or is it a thwack that Jaques does when he attacks?
And when he grapples someone, it's a pincer. It's a grab.
Okay.
But it's
So you
obviously they don't
see
have knives, but it's just
this
like
hobgoblin
a brush.
like screams out in this guttural voice as they can hear cracking noises as those pincers like tighten around the body of the hobgoblin and are certainly breaking hips in that grasp. And they're looking rough, and it's at this point just if Jaques is finished.
Yep.
Sorry. Yep,
That's
Jaques
his
is
movement
done.
and action. He's got no bonus action.
Just before Cece, it's you are about to take your turn. Right next to you, Mav, there is a thunk, and on the ground next to you is the body of a slender green dragonborn who looks up at you and has fallen from a great height right next to you. There is blood immediately welling out underneath, out onto the ground around them as it looks up at you. And Cece, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness. What is she doing? She's feeling very out of her depth. But there was the halfling that asked for help, right?
Yes.
Don't want being attacked
Yes.
by the hobgoblin.
Can she run over and stand between the halfling and anyone else, like as in a defensive stance?
You can, but here's the problem that I will kind of explain to you a little bit better, is that you can stand in between the half-elf and the halfling, which would be your instinct to protect the halfling. However, the tentacles are kind of around the halfling, coming up out of the ground and lashing around them, and you wouldn't really be able to get in between. You can certainly get in between the two people in case there's an attack coming from them, but you can't get all
No,
all around
that makes sense. That makes sense.
This just might help you. Was the half elf concentrating on a spell?
the half-elf.
The
no.
the half. I thought you said it was a hobgoblin and an aquatic.
There's a half elf
And an aquatic half-elf.
Okay, the aquatic half elf. Sorry, were they concentrating on a spell?
Not to your knowledge, no.
Okay, no, it's just because obviously they'd have to roll a con check to.
Because of the
You
amount.
don't know.
Then Cece's gonna run up to them and say, "Explain yourself. What's going on here?" And hold a booming blade.
Okay. It's when you get up close to this half elf, the thing that suddenly strikes you as you're really up close to her is she's so young. Like it almost, that holding of an action, there's this sudden thing like, is this a teenager? Like what is this? She's so young, and so like petite, and it's very, very unassuming, and so you're holding a booming blade attack.
Yes. I'm trying to think what the trigger would be. I guess she's waiting for
Being a bitch.
if she attacks, if this half elf either attacks me, attacks anyone, does anything, I'm hitting her.
Okay. She like looks you in the eye, these big eyes, and it's her go. Looking at you, she goes, "You have chosen poorly." And you don't see it because it happens right behind you. But Mav and Elle, you see that the halfling who had for a second this sense of hope, like the battle's turned, a tentacle hits her and her head gets twisted round and she's thrown onto the ground still. And you can, I think you would have, Michelle going, well, I will roll.
Gave you a chance, didn't I?
Do it.
Oh, that's very bad. God damn it, that's an 11.
That misses. I'm so sorry. Something about her disarming, you are so close up to her and you are not used to battle yet, and her disarmingly childlike figure in front of you is just puts you off for a second, and your hit is not true, but she has an action left, and with that, she looks at you. Can you please roll a wisdom saving throw?
Don't like that.
Oh no.
I do not like that.
Hold on. Just would a 9 help you?
No. Right, Winter's gone.
Thank you, my lord, but no.
I'm gonna try with Winter's die. That's a 17.
Here's hoping.
God, I hope so.
17 is not good enough. She looks at you and points to Elle, who just put she still has this arrow sticking out of her. She points to Elle and just goes, kill. And you feel your shoulders like jerk round towards Elle. You are you're a half elf.
I have advantage.
Against being charmed.
Roll again.
Same dice. Same dice.
Same dice?
Same dice. Let it guide you.
Dice.
Help me with
I'm
Dice.
going to let you in on a secret. You only need one more. You only need to be one higher than what you had.
Nope.
Dice by
Nope.
by Winter. Didn't roll that time, but
Winter,
So
you
close.
let me down. I'm sorry, you let me down.
You are,
I rolled a 10, so no.
You are compelled to. You just feel your sword is sort of drawn to wanting to slash out at Elle for your next round only. That's her go. She's done. And up next, Bob to the Gob,
Hob
Who
to
is-
the gob.
who is going to attack this enormous crab.
He rolls a 9.
Rolls a 9 plus 5. That's 14. Don't know why that maths is so hard.
Misses.
Misses. You see hook get kind of like swung round, and then you see like it's almost like a jerk of the arm as that bit of divination magic like knocks the arm out, and the chain just kind of like dangles. And so frustrated with using that last bit of strength, this hobgoblin who is so injured and failing, that is their action. They cannot move, so that's that, frankly. What happens?
Grab.
What happens next is the pulsing, the purple pulsing that's been happening. You suddenly hear an explosion from way up, and there is a bright, much brighter pulse of purple light. And it's at this moment you realize, of course, the purple mist is light from the lighthouse, and there is this ripple, this wave of force that comes out from the lighthouse. A huge bright kind of purple explosion comes from above you, and the light stops, and you hear a body hitting the ground not far from where the Dragonborn fell, next to you, Mav. But you can't quite see it because it's still in the mist, and there is no light for a few seconds. We are back to the top of the round, and it's Mav's turn.
Seeing where the massive amount of light came from, and having been drilled, having had this drilled into us the whole time during our time on the boat and everything, Mav goes straight towards where that light came from,
Okay.
hoping to find a lighthouse and a way to get up. I'm well aware that my 30 foot is not going to get me to the lighthouse.
Well, here's the thing that maybe I didn't describe well enough is that the half elf, the aquatic half elf, behind her is this white wall with staircase running up around it, and it's at the top of that. You can, you're a clever guy. You can work out that's the lighthouse, and you, with your round, you would have to run past the aquatic half elf, so she will get an opportunity attack, but you can run up those steps.
I'm going to start running up the steps.
Okay, she is going to fire off an attack on you. That is 16 plus 2. That is 18. Does it hit?
As I run past and she goes to hit me, a wall of words comes up as I cast shield on myself.
You cast shield, and it just, her sickle that she had in her hand, clink off the edge of what looks like almost like a steel page from a book, and you run straight past her and up and round, but you've got a long way to go. Yeah,
and I use my action to dash as well.
Cool. So that's you, Elle. You'll go.
Elle is going to jump up onto Jaques' back. And just look at the. He's only about 6 foot tall when he's enlarged, because based on I did the math based on his. Yeah, he's 6 foot tall when he's enlarged. He's gonna get up onto Jaques' back and knock another arrow, whisper something to the Swift Maiden and just look down at this the aquatic half elf and go, "I do not know who hurt you to make you like this, but I need this to stop." And he's going to attack again.
Yeah, go for it.
Does what's my to hit? Modifier. I think it is +9. I think it's 22, but I will confirm. Yes, 22.
22 hits.
22 hits. Don't worry, yours will be sky high in another water. Super. So that is, again, a D8, a D6, and a D4. +5. Oh, yes. We've got an 8, a 5, and a 4 on the dice. That is 22 points of damage. That is 1 away from my max damage.
What does it look like as you kill this half elf with your arrow?
It's like as she goes to say something back, it's just, as her mouth opens, it's just through and against through the other side of the spinal cord. It's a
goes straight through, out the other side.
It's like a
and
clean
the arrow
hunter's
clashes
kill
against the lighthouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. We are essentially now out of initiative because those are the foes.
Is the hobgoblin down?
No, the hobgoblin is not. We're not out of initiative. That's me in my head going 1 hit point. It's nothing.
Yeah. And then I'm going to. That's everything. I'm just on Jaques' back.
What's Jaques doing?
Jaques is gonna hold the hobgoblin in one, and then use his other claw and just hammer down like you would hammer a nail.
Let's have an attack roll, please.
Who hurt you? Hit you. You hurt her.
I mean, I did now, but I don't know who hurt her before. So to hit is a 19.
That hits.
Multiple dice.
Oh. I mean, you can roll damage, but you know it's just 1 hit point, so.
Oh, it's nine damage. Jaques just goes.
He hits her hard enough that because he's got hold of her and he's sort of broken, that there is an alarming angle at which her body gets bent back from the punch from this mighty pincer. And now we are out of initiative. Mav, you are running up the lighthouse. Cece, you were ready to like turn and do another action. It would have been your action next. So why don't you, even though we're out of initiative, why don't you say first what you would be doing?
Oh, yeah, I think Cece was ready to attack Elle, and then suddenly was like, wait, why am I attacking Elle?
Yeah, that just drops as soon as the woman dies.
Can Cece check the people that fell? I think she would rush over.
You rush over to the green dragonborn lying down, still like trying to pull breath in, and blood like bubbling up out her mouth snout situation.
Oh my god, I can't do anything.
And you see her look up through the mist at the light no longer happening, and she just about manages to say, "The shame. The light went out." And then she looks right at you and says, "You're all doomed now." And she dies.
I'm assuming that was just narrative stuff mechanically. I have a cure wounds.
I know you
basically.
had your finger up, but
I
it was.
have a cure wounds. Do any of the friendlies look like that would do anything?
You can go and take a look. They're gone.
Cool, that's fine.
And Cece, because you said you were looking at the two people that fell, that was the one that fell first. That Mav kind of looked down at. It happened mid-battle, and then the other one fell after. And that is also a white dragonborn, very much in sailor's garb, but with a staff in his hand. And that is very, very gone. There is parts of, the force from which this dragonborn was thrown from the top of the lighthouse has done an immense amount of damage, and it is very, very gruesome to look at.
Cool. Yeah, I think Cece immediately looks to Jaques and Elle, Cece's not handling this very well. She's running purely on adrenaline, but there are just tears streaming down her face.
Now, it's okay. Now, I appreciate this is maybe a bit more involved in the process than you normally are, but death is a natural part of life. I am very concerned about. I mean,
this is not natural, Elle.
That's true.
This is not what
I think we
signed
maybe.
up for.
I mean, yes and no. I think we maybe need to check on Mav in the lighthouse.
Mav.
Yeah.
You are sprinting, you are dashing up that. There are handrails around the side, so you're not overly frightened of going over the edge.
Yeah.
You're running. This lighthouse is over 100 feet up. So with all the sprinting in the world, you are leaping up these stairs and you get puffed real quick.
Oh, absolutely I do.
And eventually, you get to the top, wheezing. Sorry to make assumptions about your character, but I know what his strength is.
And I look around.
What you see at the top here is there is a crystal that is the size of a cart, jagged, rough around the edges. Which is sort of placed in the middle. Wow, this is super perfect.
This was perfect for Mav running up the.
It's real Disney CGI animal kid doing a stealth section. Yeah. It's Stuart Little, the video game, is what it's from.
We just slipped into the quirky playlist for a second there. We didn't mean to. We're back. But this is a circular top. Obviously, most lighthouses, the top is like a circular kind of lookout point. And there's no glass. It is just kind of like pillars and the roof. and then this enormous crystal, rough-hewn crystal that sits in the middle. And on each of the pillars are engraved runes, and there's runes on the ground as well. Roll Arcana, if you would.
Yep.
Wish.
I was about to say, do I recognize? I'm looking around to see if I recognize any of the sort of runes on any of the surfaces. That's a 14. That was so close to being a natural 20, but it wasn't.
With a 14, you get a clear understanding that these runes are not currently like engaged. They're not switched on.
Okay.
But I'm afraid a 14 isn't quite good enough for you to sort of pick up bits of it. You pick up that they're all interconnected and that it's like Christmas lights. If one goes down, dung, 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 they all go down.
And I look around to see if there's like a like a fucking manual or like instructions anywhere on any of the surfaces that I can actually read to see if there's like anything to.
There's a genius bar, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
You don't. There's no Apple Genius bar here, I'm afraid to say. There is nothing. It is just a clear space. The only other thing that you can see is scorch marks on the stone that indicate that there had been a scuffle up here. I'm going to just put a pin in that, go back down to you guys who are still like working your way through the mist and looking at stuff. Is there anything else that you're doing down there?
Having a panic attack? Cease having
Taking a
panic
second. Taking a second.
I think if Al said, we should go up, then I think we'll make our way up to join Mav.
Yeah, like El's gonna be a second just because he's gonna wait for Jaques to like shrink down a bit, but even then Jaques can't get up the stairs.
I was gonna say, even in Jack's normal form, he can't get himself.
He can't get up there.
He'd be too like vertical along the.
It'd be too, because then if he reaches centre mass, he'll just roll over the banister.
Yeah, we don't want that.
You'd hate to see it. You'd absolutely hate to see it.
I'd hate to see it, as would everyone in chat. I think Elle's gonna like go up and then look at Jaques and just kind of like meet his eye to make sure he's good, and then I think Jaques is gonna do something. Jaques is crabs are scavengers, and I think Jaques is gonna go like searching through like pockets for like jerky and other like I think he's got like a real habit of going through like the like pockets and like wreckages and stuff. Not innards. Right. He's not eating people. He's like looking for like.
Can you just refresh my memory of what his intelligence is?
His intelligence. Well, actually, Lydia, he's proficient in all the things I am. So.
And how intelligent are you?
Yeah.
Me?
Well,
it wasn't the question that I asked. Yeah. I asked the question.
That's a separate thing.
Yeah. Jaques' intelligence is a 1.
Oh, Jaques.
And I don't. Sorry. You may have misunderstood me, and I thought I meant it's a +1. What I mean is 1. His intelligence is -5. His modifier is -5.
Oh, what a dumb.
He's a really good scavenger, and he knows to look through things, but he doesn't know the difference between,
he knows what's edible and what's not.
A really good magical item and somebody's hip bone that's protruding out of their hips right now.
He knows what he can and wants to eat, and I'm not saying he's rolling a loot check for me, Lids. I just mean that's what he's gonna do. Like he's gonna look for like stuff that smells good, so like fishy things and meat that isn't people.
Horrendous. Love it. And you leave Jaques to his terrible, terrible work, and up the stairs you two of you go.
Does the mist? Yeah, I'm a bit after CC, though I am a touch faster, so maybe I catch up. But does the mist like subside a little? I'm a wood elf, so I've got that really wanky like extra 5 foot of movement,
of course.
which like it's got to be used at some point, surely.
Give me a quick like survival check to kind of tune into the mist.
That was good. That was very good. +7 is assuming this. You're not calling this coastal. 25.
I mean, it's you are on the coast. You're on a bluff. How much is it?
27. If you're calling it coastal.
It is almost imperceptible, but as you are running up the side of the lighthouse, you like perhaps It is slightly, but it is a matter of, by the tiniest of increments, is it perhaps a little bit like brighter? You have still no idea like where the sun is in the sky, but you kind of keep seeing a little bit of Cece round the corner of the lighthouse, just a little bit ahead of you. And you kind of figured that a little while ago you wouldn't have been able to see her because you were having to stand so close to each other. So you think possibly it's just a little bit.
That's fine. I rolled a 27 and you gave me perhaps. That feels very Lydia.
Well,
I'm not knocking it.
Exactly.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. I'm genuinely not. I'm just saying, y'all in chat. That's the kind of, if you want to roll for something stupid, Lydia's not gonna give you something just because there's a high number on the dice.
Yeah, Mav, you are at the top, like just looking around, like looking at the scorch marks. You're still looking at the runes, and it's quite a long time before you hear first the heavy breathing of of people who have made their way to the top of this lighthouse.
And sobbing.
Yeah.
She's not got good shoes.
It is hard to be out of breath and hysterical. It's extremely hard on the
You're doing the double breathing in thing.
Yeah.
Can I, whilst I was waiting, can I sort of just be like experimenting ever so slightly? Like, obviously, I know that this is something that requires a huge amount of fucking magic. I don't know what that does.
Dabble, though, you know.
You what? Sorry.
Why not pick this moment when you don't know anything about any of the glyphs? Just go. I'll just draw something new, maybe. I'll doodle.
But like so I'm gonna be kind of channeling a little bit of cantrip type magic to sort of see if it does anything, see if it affects it or anything.
Okay.
Did you hear any of that?
I did. We heard it all. We didn't see you though. So I'm gonna. You're using a little bit of magic using some cantrip magic to do what to the glyphs?
Essentially, much like any other kind of reactive sort of like diagnostics on a circuit board, you would use a small amounts of electricity to check that all of the connections are still working. I'm doing exactly the same, but with small amounts of magic for this magic circuit board.
I think seeing as you described it in that extremely good way, I'll allow you an additional Arcana check.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Oh god, that was one better. Fuck me and my rolls. That was a 15.
You haven't pinned down the exact one, but you have ruled out at least half of the glyphs, thinking these all seem complete. Yeah, Stacey, you're there. Elle, you're there now as well.
Well,
there are quickly. We need to make sure that these are all still connected to the source. They're definitely these ones are definitely not the issue. It's one of these around this area. Come and help me find out which ones it is.
All right, I think we have to get. You have to get the light back on. He said we're all doomed.
Yes. We need to. It's one of these connections is faulty. We need to fix that connection. Otherwise, as you said, we are all doomed.
Okay.
Well, this looks like a pickle.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Fuck you.
People died.
Can I?
Where did you get the pickles from?
You know what?
I'll help you find this rune thing.
Can I very quickly actually just fully cast Detect Magic?
Yeah.
To see if there's any parts that aren't flowing with magic.
What happens when you cast Detect Magic is you are for a second like, I'm not going to roll damage on you, but the whole place lights up with latent magic energy, and it is like looking into the sun. You are, your eyes hurt, and it is all based on the crystal and going down through the core of the lighthouse. But you don't see anything on any of the runes around, and kind of shielding your eyes from the kind of innate magic that's there. Stepping round, that is kind of like all that you can see, essentially.
Okay. I immediately turn it off then.
What am I looking for? I'll help in any way I can. How do we find out what?
These you see that these runes that are on each of these pillars are connected down to specific parts of the rune network on the bottom of on the floor here, and these all connect to in some way to this. I'm sure. But I can only assume that there is something wrong with one of the connections.
Right. All right. Let me take a look, and I'll take a look. What am I rolling? Arcana.
You can roll Arcana or you can roll Perception. I think those would. You could roll Investigation. Those are your three, I think.
Can I roll Persuasion? Can I persuade it to just work?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
We'll do Perception. Sorry.
Can I just you in a real fucky roll, Liz?
You're trying to
17.
Now. You got 17, and what was it again? Perception.
Yeah, Perception.
With a 17, you kind of start looking, and Mav is talking. Almost, it's like maths. It's all stuff that you're like, not sure what you're talking about. So what you end up focusing on is the marks that are in and around. Like, you're looking at the scuffle that clearly happened. You're looking at scorch marks, and you are drawn to one particular pillar. And you can see fresh, like where there are fresh marks in the stone looks lighter. And you can see that this one rune in particular has got like fresh etchings through some of the rune work.
Mav, what about this? Would this stop it from working? It's like it's made it different.
Do I see whether there is anything there that?
Yeah, you can see that there the rune, the magic within the rune, essentially the maths of the rune, has been interrupted by deep cuts in very specific places. Yeah.
Okay. What? With a sort of rudimentary, like not rudimentary, but like with a sort of basic knowledge of rune work and things like that, would it be that I would have to recarve? Would I know anything about how to repair this rune?
Here's the thing: you know for sure that you need to mend that and get the glyph back. Which you're not entirely sure how to do at this point, other than getting some literally getting some like mud or clay and filling it, like polyfillering in the holes where it is. But that isn't going to be enough. You're going to need to recast what's going on here, and it feels very beyond you at this point. Wonderful. That's with your passive intelligence, passive investigation, which is really good, I think. Passive investigation, which is 16, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I say this to the others. Is there Elle, you are earthy. Is there anything that you can do to repack this wall so that we can
you you just want some clay? Like,
have you got clay? You speak. You retort. Your retorts made it seem like that was an outlandish thing to say.
no, I'm just saying. Do you just want some clay?
If you have some clay,
I mean, I don't like have clay, but like we're like on the coast. Like we can find clay.
Please, for a very very rudimentary fix for now. If you could find me some clay, I would be.
Let me do one thing first, and then I'll run down and to the beach and go, wading for clay. Are there any spider's webs, Lydia?
Roll perception.
Do you remember when I said about a fucky roll?
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, this place is very clean. There's not a single spider web. It's very dust free, other than the scorch marks and stuff.
Any animals whatsoever?
No.
No little guys?
No,
No,
not a
zero
single.
little guys?
I mean, there's a point where you're like looking around for it, and then you hear, and you realize that albatross is still circling. So if you want to have a go at that.
Nah, y'all ain't gonna be any help to me. I'm gonna go find some, how much do you need, like?
And I sort of tell him the amount that I think I might need.
I'll tell you what, I'll just sort of bring about this much and see what we can. Yeah, then I will go down, and then with Jaques helping, I will wade out into the into the sea, specifically where, because you described the cliffs as being chalky once to me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for under the sea, where the sand meets the chalky cliff, because that's a really good place to find like naturally occurring clay.
That's spoken from somebody who's played Minecraft a lot. I'll say this before we get into all of that. As you come down and you see the bodies and you don't see Jaques right away, and you kind of call out to him and you look you look around, you follow the lighthouse around, and you realize on the north side of the lighthouse there's actually a building, and inside the doors open and Jaques is sort of inside, like holding a plate that just up off the table that he's picked up off the table.
Now, y'all about to break that?
Puts it back down.
That's all right. Now, what have you found here? It's like a little lighthouse outhouse. Can I just have a?
This room is like maybe 25 foot by 50 foot, like on the side of the lighthouse, and it's extremely basic. There's not very many, there's no real provisions here, and you pick up really quickly. For people who are like spending a time at the lighthouse, they might have a meal here beforehand. There's a couple of books scattered for when people are bored. There's even like a little cot set up with a blanket over it. There's a book, a big book, big fat book.
Sensing that it's literally and kind of spiritually connected as a place, can I look for supplies that might match what Mav's looking for, book that might match what Mav's looking for, or anything that gives me the same vibe? Because that's not my shit. So if I find anything else that feels wholly not my shit, I'm just going to grab it.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be the easiest of investigation checks, because it is literally like, I don't know what that does. Put it on top of the crab. I don't know what that does. I'm going to put that on top of the crab.
This is weird. Don't like the look of this. That's haunted. Jaques is helping me, because always accept crab help. That's a 17.
The 17, you go through, the first thing you put on his back is a very thick, like, tome. Put that on his back, and there's a couple of boxes that when you kind of open them out, they've got all sorts of like little thin implements, chiseling implements, and all sorts of bits and pieces. And you see a pestle and mortar. Wait, did I say that right? Mortar and pestle.
Sure. They are two distinct items, so either it's not.
It's just sometimes I say metal and porcelain, so I just have to always check. and like little sacks of bits and pieces. You put the whole thing on
Are
his
they like
back.
sacks of like sand or something, or like?
Yeah, it's looking at it and thinking about the thing, you know that if you mixed a bit of water with
That's
this,
what I was
you could
thinking.
make
Basically,
nice,
I'm gonna go and grab some seawater, as well, and I grab a thing of seawater, and then. Now, what in tarnations? It's going right through my fingers. How's that? Yeah, so I'm gonna like grab like a flagon or something, or and I'm gonna leave Jaques to rummaging through whatever leftover food is there, and run all that up to Mav. Now, no, go.
Go ahead. You run up. All of that probably takes about half an hour, 35 minutes. And it is a tough amount of time for you two waiting at the top, thinking there's no light, and Cece, you thinking about all the people who just died in terrible, gruesome ways, and the words that were just said to you by the dying Dragonborn. That is the long 35 minutes. Is there anything that you say to each other in that time?
I don't think there's a huge amount to say currently about this thing. Like the only time I think I would speak would be to say like to look at a certain glyph and go, do you think it's, knowing that there are parts of this glyph that have been scrawled out, going like, do you think it's similar to this glyph, the one that, like, if we make a carving similar to that one, or like making some notes and kind of it's not, I don't think for Mav it's time for
Yeah, I think when
who's your family?
Mav, like, in those moments, Cece's definitely there, but I also imagine there's long moments, minutes of Mav just like reading, looking in his book or whatever, or looking at something, and in those moments I think Cece is just sort of like pacing and just sort of muttering to herself, like, what have I done? 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 Maybe we can go back. Maybe we'll just get on the boat and go back. All right, that's fine. This is not what we signed up for. We'll just go back on the boat. It'll be fine. What have I done? What have I done?
Yes, I've already tried. We're not getting back on the boat.
Nope. This is different. They'll let us back on the boat. They have to let us back on the boat. They have to.
And then Elle comes up, just swinging a little like pail of instruments and like a book under the arm, looking ever so breezy and casual.
Yeah, hey y'all. So I found some things that I thought you might like, might maybe just kind of help out. This big book feels sort of your vibe, Maverick.
Grabby hands. Thank you ever so much.
This kind of, there's like a little house like attached to the lighthouse,
right?
And like inside there's like a chisel, and it feels, maybe, I kind of got the vibe. I didn't get any clay, but I did get some seawater, because there's some kind of like powder, and I figured you can make like some kind of like paste, putty, gel, some, just whatever y'all's need.
All right.
Y'all, do you need me to like do something? Because
Elle, we need to get off the island. That's what we need.
why?
I think I'm immediately just sort of flicking through this book to see if there's anything in this book.
Everyone's dead, Elle.
Oh, y'all ain't. I ain't.
Roll
He ain't.
intelligence, and while they're just chatting, sorry, Mav, roll a very basic, just like straight up intelligence modifier with your D20 roll. Continue,
Cool. So straight up intelligence, no investigation or anything like that would be.
No, it's just a matter of like reading. So it's
that would be 21.
With a 21, you get you immediately understand that this is the Lighthouse like Bible. This is the manual for the whole thing, and so you can quickly kind of like flick through it to like the troubleshooting pages, and you quickly, like, this is you scanning through, but you realize you are going to have to essentially make the glyph perfect. And then you're going to have to pump magic into it, essentially casting the spell over. So what are you looking like for spells? What's your highest spell?
Second level.
Second level, you feel like it's going to be hard to make second level work. But
Lydia, we're at level 4. Second level's all I've got.
I know.
I've got nothing left.
I've got nothing left.
I have some magic if I can help.
I've got a few first levels if you want them.
I'm going to. Here's what I'm going to do. Why don't you, for starters, try and fix the glyphs? And while you're doing that, you can. If you can roll Arcana to try and fix the glyphs, that's your skill check.
Okay, so I think at this point, when I get to the right page, I'd go over to Cece again and kind of sort of not grab, but grab her arm and kind of go, look. So this is what we have to do. If you could hold the book very quickly, and I start to kind of go to the glyph again. I don't know whether that would count as a help action, but
I'll allow it.
Thank you ever so much. So first roll is, thank God you allowed it, because that was a 13. Second, oh my God, boys and girls, I rolled 2 13s.
Unlucky for some. L's just in the background
Total 13.
Yep. 7 plus 6, Lydia. 7 plus.
With the kind of formal education or lack of, your one term that you took in formal education, you feel like you've done a pretty good job, but it's very rough. Like there's bits. It's a shitty polyfiller job when you're leaving a house and trying to fill in all the holes, and it looks, it does not look smooth. But you're like, I think that's just the best that I can do. Like this stuff dries really quickly, and I think that's the best that I can do right now. And here's the thing: you need to pump 6 levels of spell into these glyphs to get it going. You can try and do less, but you're going to have to roll really well. Like you won't have to roll if you do 6 levels. If you do under 6 levels, you'll have to roll something. With this knowledge, I sort of say to the others, I have enough magic in me still to help. In all of this time, by the way, any time for a short rest? He went for 35 minutes, and then you did some work, so not really, not quite. Sorry, that's a dick move on my behalf, but
hey, I'm used to it.
That's what DM stands for, dick move.
No, I sort of look to the other two and go and kind of explain the process that needs to happen. I say I think I've got enough to bolster most of this, but do either of you have any anything to help?
I can try.
Let me just clarify one thing, of course, that I realize I just said that in kind of a hurry. It needs to be 6 levels at once. So Tom, you couldn't go level 2, level 2, level 2. It has to be at once. So you can do level 2. She can do level 2, and he can do level 2.
Okay.
At once.
But you don't
okay, cool.
Sorry, that.
Of course.
No.
I'm a fucking ranger. I don't have level 2 spell slots.
Okay, cool. Well, I like having explained that and said, like, look, we need as much help as we can fucking get. I put in 2 levels. When I say okay now, put in two levels myself.
I put in 1.
Yeah, I put in 2.
At the same time, I was thinking, I reckon I could cast a fishing line off of this place, like and get it into the sea.
Can I have the best thing that I can think of here is to use essentially an attack roll. Use that bonus with a D20, even though I realize attack rolls are sort of something slightly different. I think it's the closest we can come, and we need. We're going to need that roll to be over 10 from all 3 of you.
All of us.
Yep.
Is it like a spell attack?
Yes, so essentially roll a d20 and add your spell, what you would add if you were attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a 24 from me.
Beautiful.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, beautiful.
11.
Ow. Ow. Kind of close.
Y'all remember earlier when I said like there's things I'm good at and there'll be things y'all's good at? Like these are the things that y'all's good at.
Like there's a moment the three of you are like are standing in like as like a triangle in the top of this lighthouse facing in towards the crystal, your hands out like like just inches away from the crystal, pumping magic into it. And Mav, you turn to Elle, who is clearly looking out of the lighthouse, and you can see it written in his face. He's wondering about fishing. He is. And you go like this, and he's like, goes back to it, and just about, and you get this huge, like, bright purple light comes out and pulses, and then goes dark, and then pulses and goes dark, and it is back to the point of every few seconds that purple light. It is. You're going to have dots in your eyes for days because this is extremely bright light. So you immediately like turn away from it. Congratulations. Got the lighthouse working again.
I think Mav goes down into the Drake crouch, looking up at this and kind of goes, why the fuck have we done this?
Now, that's the power of teamwork. Y'all think maybe we should tell the folks down at the docks that
Yeah, we should
ain't nobody getting on the boat home?
There's been like, we should be like, there's been like an attack, a mass murder.
And no one's getting on the boat home, so they can just go.
So we may as well all just go
we'll
home.
take the stuff and they
we
can
need
go.
to go
we can
home.
get set up.
But like,
what? Why?
We're just staying here now?
We got it, right? Like, we're the only ones, like, ain't no one coming to take over from us. Like, we got this lighthouse up. Like, without the lighthouse, that boat's gonna be crashing, people are gonna be dying, then all of a sudden there's monsters in the sea because there's bodies, and then there's pirates because there's treasure in the sea. Like, it's just a nightmare.
Alright. You're saying us staying here is doing the right thing and stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't make a lighthouse for no reason.
I guess not. Alright, that makes sense, I guess.
Who wants to go? I mean, does someone need to stay here? Maverick, y'all good? You cannot be staring at that light that long.
Mav, you're gonna hurt your eyes, you are.
Oh. There's not a lot that comes out of Mav. He just goes, oh.
Hey, Mav, maybe do you want to stay here and maybe babysit the lighthouse for like a bit while we go and tell the folks down at the dock what's going on?
I think that might be wise.
All right.
We'll bring you back some food.
Yeah.
Friends, well done, I suppose.
No, this is y'all's victory. Like, take it. Puff your chest up, It's good for you.
You did great, Mav.
I feel like we have, well and truly made a start at this God's forsaken island.
I think so.
And I think Mav just sort of sits back on his haunches and just sort of looks at the ground for a bit.
And then Elle's going to go down, get Jaques.
We all going? We're both going?
Yeah. And then when we were past the bodies, Elle will say to you, at some point, one of us is going to have to go through all these and just kind of figure out what's kind of, waste not, want not, and all that.
You don't mean eat them?
No, I don't mean eat the body. I mean, like, they got, like, swords and like...
yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm with
useful
you.
tools.
Yeah, we should give them, like, proper, burials and stuff, not just leave.
I don't know. Give them a sky burial.
No, I don't think I want that.
Y'all don't have to. It's fine. Let's just go to the docks, tell them that no one's going home, and it'll be fine. And yeah, then we walk back till we get to the boulder, and then carry on.
You walk You know, you have rope bridge, you have a little bit of rowboat, you have beach, you have up the cliff,
Jaques
you
is
have
coming too.
in, through, along the path, through the ravine. It's probably about when you're out on the other side of the ravine that you realize, yeah, that sun is finally managing to burn the mist away, and it is starting to lift, and you are getting your first real look at the island. You know, you come out the other side of the ravine and you like look back for a second and you're seeing this small ridge of like little mountains or massive hills, whichever way you want to do it. This like ridge that kind of follows the island round, and you can kind of look down towards the way that you're going, and it hasn't quite dissipated far enough yet, but you keep walking back towards that boulder along the path where it would have split off to go to the house, and then again to the boulder, and then you kind of going. Are you going directly to the dock?
Yeah.
Takes you a long ass time to get there. You're sort of realizing the scale of these islands is quite vast, but eventually you make it back to the dock, and everything has sort of been done. All the boxes, all the crates, everything is now done, and you've just got a lot of sailors like sitting on the docks. Some of them are sitting on the edge of the ship, like looking out. They're sort of ready to go. They're waiting.
They're sitting on the dock of the bay, just watching time roll away. Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Well, as we were on the ship, as we watched it roll in, we'll watch it roll away again. Hey, y'all, hey, thanks for.
Oh, you're back. God, we were worried for a moment. We were thinking about leaving, but
well, don't just be thinking about it. Maybe get to doing it.
Where's the people who are coming with us?
Oh, they're dead. There was some kind of like violent attack by I don't know, maybe by pirates or invaders or something. But they're all dead, as are the would-be assailants. So y'all can get to going.
Do you want me to come with you?
Absolutely not. You're not allowed on the ship now.
I
Good
thought you
news
were going to
though.
say that.
Good news though. That's more rations for y'all's.
Yeah, we'll not. We've got a chance of surviving back for sure.
Silver
And that, of course,
linings.
is in your interest, because if I die, there'll be no one to pick you up next year.
Silver linings all around.
Can I just grab Faraday by the arms and I'm like, you better be here in a year. Don't be
I'll
late.
do my best. Yeah.
No. I don't think you understand. This isn't a do your best situation. This is you have to be here. Exactly 300 and however many days
In this fantasy year.
there are that many days. You be here, Faraday.
She smiles at you and like chuckles and sort of pats you lightly on the cheek and goes, "Aye, I'll see you. All right. Good luck. Don't forget, there's someone on the West Island needs their things. Bye."
Yep, absolutely. Bye.
And they all like so quickly, like ants. They're up the deck, and the gangplank is lifted.
Cece
and
does going around and like gives everyone a proper goodbye.
She gets
Like,
pushed off the boat.
yeah.
'Cause she's
I was
really
like,
good.
yeah, can't. Oh.
You get you
What?
get a meaningful goodbye from Douglas, the dwarf that you saved on the way here, that is now part of the crew. He gets a little bit like snivelly and leaves a kind of damp tear mark on your shoulder as you separate. And he gets on the ship, and they are
Bye, Douglas.
gone. You see that ship disappear off into the mist.
Did they say we have to get the stuff to the West Island person, like, as soon as
Like
we
I
can?
think it's as soon as like they're waiting for their supplies. So, yeah.
I think this would be a good time to call it, though.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Lydia, how many days are in your fantasy year?
Yeah, I need to know the day.
Specific count.
It's
We have
interesting,
the
isn't it?
situation.
Because there is 365, and then every other year there is a special holiday where there's an extra day put in Brun. Yeah.
Who'd have known? Lydia has a full calendar.
Yeah, there's a full calendar.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Thank you very much for being here for session 1 of the Lighthouse of Eisodos. We got to
Holy
meet the
shit.
titular lighthouse. You guys got to meet all of our would-be lighthouse keepers and Jaques. Just quickly, thank you very much, Loki Crow, for donating $5. Thank you very much to What Now and Hannah. What Now for What Now, Hannah PL, Toes for hosting us. Thank you very much, Toes, also for donating. Thank you very much, Luke Ellenholtz. I'm probably saying that wrong. For following, Magister MW for following, Kakashamoto for following, Fern Front for following. Hi Fern. Thank you very much, Animaniac Dad for following. Thanks Sway for hosting, and thanks Winter, who's not here, for another $10, bringing us up to a wonderful $900.
Holy shit, folks!
Far. It's for a very good cause. The Norfolk LGBT Project does a wonderful work helping young people, young adults, and families of people coming to terms with their sexuality or coming out or transitioning or any number of things. They're fantastic. We've got lots more coming up. We've got 2 streams next week, tomorrow with Lydia and Michelle doing Dragon Age, and then crafts in the afternoon.
I'm going to be drawing the map of this island that we were just on.
Exactly. So definitely come see. And then on Friday at 7 p.m. BST, so same starting time as this, we're going to be starting our 24 hours of Curse of Strahd with a whole bunch of guests. You'll be able to donate to a fantastic cause and make lots and lots of things happen, like summoning Skellybobs or Strahd, or give them magical weapons and stuff. Also,
I'm terrified.
Also, for the rest of the week, Sunday will be like a Q&A, like chill, like chat stream to close off. All of it's available on our Twitter at WickedGameRPG. We're that across all socials. Check out our YouTube. Thank you, Sweet Poison. Thank you, all of our mods for being there. The first 6 people to donate $100 from the beginning of this stream out will play in a one-shot, DM'd by none other than Lydia themselves. And
it'll be canon in this world, so you've got it's your opportunity to really screw things up.
I mean, fuck, guys, you've just seen Lydia's whole shebang, and you've watched her rock it for 3.5 hours now.
Yes.
So yeah, donate and get in on that action.
Do it. Thank you so much, guys. Will the one-shot be on stream? I don't think it's going to be on stream. No, I think
but depending on who does it, maybe we could do it on. We could have it on our Discord, but I think it's probably that's entirely up to the people who donate because they might want to be private, and that's cool too.
That's also fine.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Tom and Michelle, and thank you especially Lydia. We've been winning a game, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Love you.
Bye.